Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the build-up show to the game which sees West Ham United entertained, and we use that term, as I always say, in its loosest possible sense, entertain Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, which should see Declan Rice returning back to the London Stadium. If you are new to this build-up show and you're new to Hammers Chat, then welcome. If you're old to Hammers Chat, then welcome also. But if you are new and you're not subscribed, maybe stick that little thumbs up next to it to say you like the video, which hopefully you will do, and also press that subscribe button. It'd be very, very much appreciated. We're going to find out the teams very shortly, I think in about 3 minutes. So let me explain how this show is going to go. The teams will be announced in the next 3 minutes, and I do believe David Moyes is going to be playing quite a strong team for this one. I don't know. I've got crap sources, by the way, but as I understand it, if you're looking to see some youngsters play in this starting lineup, you're going to be sorely mistaken or sorely disappointed. I do believe there's going to be there'd be a lot of first team players in this particular lineup. We'll find out in a couple of minutes. We'll go through it. We'll give our reactions. We'll read out some of your reactions as well. And then what we will do is we will put together a little bet. Now, the bet is going to be based on probably a most ridiculous scoreline. And we'll probably try and name some goal scorers. And the reason we do so is we want to build up the pot as big as possible because we want to give one of you lot the money. So it might be quite an unrealistic bet. We just hope at some point it comes in and we can chuck a few £100. And one of you lot will do that. Then we'll get your score predictions. We'll have a little bit of fun, a little bit of silliness along the way. We may even digress, and I wouldn't be surprised if we talk about food for a little bit because that often happens. And then right on the hour mark, at about 7 o'clock, Charlie will be joining myself, and you'll be joining all of us, and he will take you through the watch along. So if what you want to do is keep up to date, you want to watch the game in company, you can do so with Charlie. Mute your television. So you don't. I don't even know who's commentating tonight, but let's pretend, for example, it was Gary Neville. I don't think it is. You'd mute Gary Neville, which is always a good thing to be able to do, and you can listen to Charlie, and you can take in the game amongst drown your sorrows amongst fellow West Ham fans. I just want to say a big thank you to Gatesy there from the West Ham Massive. That's Rob. Now, you may well have recognised Rob. Rob was on the our preview. He looked like Father Christmas. Captain Birdseye. All of them rolled into... If Father Christmas had an affair with Captain Birdseye, the baby would look like Rob. Anyway, Rob, that's it just there. The West Ham Massive YouTube channel. He's got his own YouTube channel. Go and check him out. He's a lovely, lovely man. And, well, if you don't, you might not find yourself getting many presents at Christmas. Let's put it this way. Right. Okay. So, sorry, Adrian's just said it is Alan Smith commentating tonight. It's horrendous. A good evening, a DM. It's ironic that somebody called DM didn't message me privately. Anyway, I'm actually quite looking forward to tonight, actually. I don't know why. I have no evidence to suggest we'll win. Hey, none of us do. But I'll tell you what, before we are any further ado, let's see if we got the team. You'll know soon, but we got the team. We got the team. It is, and the team is, hopefully Charlie will pop that along the chat at the bottom there. I will read the team out to you, boys and girls, now. It's Lucas Fabianski in goal. It's Vladimir Soufal at right back. Konstantinos Mavropanos, which I do think I'd never enjoyed saying a footballer's name more than that one. Naif Gerd. Emerson... But it is Emerson Palmieri, isn't it? But I quite like plain old Emerson. I think if you're going to have a Konstantinos Mavropanos in there, a plain old Emerson is probably going to do quite well. Edson Alvarez starts. Now, it is worth pointing out that Edson Alvarez is starting, but he is suspended for general naughtiness for the game against Brentford. He can't feature in that. Alongside him is Thomas Potato Salad Big Sue Soucek. Long name, isn't it, that one? And then... I'm looking at the order of it now. I'm going to make up my own order of this. So I think Lucas Paquetá, quite possibly. He might play him on the left. Who knows? Now, he also, for general naughtiness and a tantrum, let's be fair, has got a ban and a suspension ahead of the game against Brentford. So you'd expect to see both him and Alvarez, playing, I guess, all the game tonight. Mohamed Kudus starts, Said Benrahma starts, and Jared Bowen starts. So if we're looking for a headline from this particular this particular team selection, I think it's basically, we asked the question before, who will Moyes select? Will he select Mikel Antonio? Will he select Danny Ings? Or will he try and appease the disgruntled Divine Mubama? Well, the answer is none of them. None of them. No strikers for David Moyes today. I think if any other manager was playing with this system, I think we'd probably call it a false nine. But it's quite funny. Whenever Moyes doesn't, you don't get it. He doesn't get the false nine because I think more of a floating number two, isn't it? It's just we don't really know what David Moyes is doing. I think we suspect that maybe that David Moyes doesn't. Look, we'll only know at the end of the game. But I'll tell you what, you can't level against him is that he hasn't taken it seriously. That's a strong team for David Moyes. That's him going for it. It really is. And quite frankly, I'm not entirely sure that we're lacking anything for not having Antonio up there, considering that he doesn't receive. Do you know what? He doesn't receive any service. He's not going to receive any service. No point playing a striker. Might as well play another attacking midfielder and see if we can score from there. I don't know. Maybe that's part of his thinking. If we're looking for another headline, then I guess it's the fact that James Ward-Prowse does not start tonight. I understand it. I think he has been absolutely flogged, ridiculous. I don't know if he's played more minutes than anyone else. I know he didn't since he joined, obviously, is what I'm talking about. He didn't start the season, but he played for Southampton. I don't know, but clearly he's a player that David Moyes wants to utilise all the time. So probably wise to give him a rest. But for David Moyes, he's going to be looking at that and thinking that's a strong team. I'll do the bench in just a second. I've just sort of got half an eye on the chat there. And thank you to everybody who's just joined us in the last few minutes. If you're wondering why it's just me tonight, I will be joined by Charlie at 7 o'clock. We'll take you through the watch along. No Gio tonight. He's gone to a Mary Berry book signing this evening. Very busy, but absolutely heaving there. He wanted to get back for this show, but I mean the queues are pretty immense, and he certainly wanted to get the full personalised 2 Geo one. He loves a good old bake off, just Geo, and so no Geo tonight, unfortunately. Just myself and Charlie. There's a poll. This is the poll. What do you think about the starting lineup? How do you feel? Not think. We don't care about think. We want to know how you feel. How do you feel about the starting 11? The poll's there now. When Charlie comes to join us at 7 o'clock, he will tell you the results of it. Get involved. It's always interesting to see what the vibe is. And it's the overall team. I understand there's some disappointment because, well, we'll get to the bench. Charlie, would you flash the bench up, please, my friend, if you can? Thank you very much. So we've got Areola, we got Ogbonna, we got Kera, Cresswell, James Ward-Prowse, Pablo Fornals, Maxwell Cornet, Mikel Antonio, and Danny Ings. And thank you, Charlie. The reason I asked him to pop that up then is because I can see the conversation going on about Mubama there. So Mubama's not even on the bench. Now, as I understand it, so last night, our under-21s played against Newport County. That was in the EFL Trophy. Really great thing. I did a video about it earlier. Absolutely magnificent. It's where our under-21s play against League One and League Two teams. It's the youngsters against grown men. And we're doing really well. We're topping our group, of course. We beat Bristol Rovers first. We beat Newport last night. And I think the other team in our group, it might be Cheltenham. I think it's Cheltenham. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But if not, I think it's absolutely Cheltenham. But anyway, the team are doing really well. But as I understand it, Mubama didn't play last night. No big surprise there because he's not featured as much as others. But I think people thought because he wasn't playing, maybe he'd feature tonight. He's not even on the bench. Look, if he was grumpy before, he's going to be double grumpy now, isn't he? A lot of people were maybe suspecting that Callum Marshall, who again didn't feature in that game, that's why we only won it 1-0. If Callum Marshall played, we would have won it 10-0. He didn't play last night, and my understanding is that he had a bit of a knock. And old man Shaggy, he's saying yes, absolutely. So thank you for clarifying that. It was absolutely Cheltenham. People are asking for the Arsenal team. Well, I guess we better have that, please, Charlie. If you've got the Arsenal team, if that's typed out, thank you very much. We've got Aaron Ramsdale back in goal. White, Kiror, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Havertz, Vieira, Nelson, Trossard, and Nketiah. Look, it's not insulting to say it. It's just a fact. This is their second string team with a little sprinkling of players that he might go. Ramsdale has been in the news all season, hasn't he? Really, let's be fair to because he's not been. He's been booted out the first team. He's not first choice. Everyone knows it. There's no insult in that. Certainly, you look at people like Jorginho is not a first starter on there. Havertz, we'll have a little. In fact, I'm not going to say anything about him, otherwise he'll score. Actually, let's not talk about Havertz at all. Trossard, he's a reserve for them. He's a substitute. In Nketiah, did he score a hat trick? I think he might have scored a hat trick, if I'm not much mistaken, against Sheffield United. He's done really, really well for him. Signed the new deal, and we were linked with him, weren't we? We were linked with Nketiah for a long, long time because he was running his contract. That didn't happen. Stayed there. I think it was the right decision, absolutely the right decision there. And but let's be fair, he's second choice to Jesus. Really, all things being equal, he don't play up front, does he? And look. Declan Rice, and that's another headline for you. Declan Rice is in there, Odegaard, and then Martinelli, Saka. But he's, Trossard is a really, really good player. Reece Nelson is another player that we were linked with. There is an opportunity. I think there's an opportunity there for us tonight. But we'll have a look in just a second when Charlie pops it up. Their substitutes bench is going to be pretty strong. So if things aren't going right for them, then they're going to be able to, to switch things around and bring some of those big hitters on, aren't they? Charlie, do you have the Arsenal bench to hand at all, please, my friend? There it is. Hines, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Rice, El Nene, Saka, Odegaard, or as Isengard, as I like to call him, and Martinelli. So there you go. You do have you do have big hitters on the bench, particularly like Rice, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli. These are serious players for them, absolutely. So but and I don't blame them. I don't blame Arsenal not for that anyway. I don't blame Arsenal for trying to rest ahead of what is a really important game for them against Newcastle at the weekend, which is going to be a big test. It's going to be a really, really big test for Arsenal. That is. So there you go. I'll just take you through again, if you wouldn't mind. Wonderful. I'll take you through the team again. Thanks very much, Charlie. Fabianski, Sufal, Mavropanos, Naif Gerd, Emerson, Edson Alvarez, Thomas Souček, Mohamed Kudus, Lucas Paquetá. Let's hope it's Paquetá, not Paqueta tonight. Sai Benrahma and Jared Bowen. It is a serious team, and I think if you were just to look at both of them, and if you were a seasoned watcher of West Ham, which I know you all are, most of you are West Ham fans, if you're a seasoned watcher of Arsenal, which you're probably not, they're all probably watching Arsenal Fan TV or whatever it's called now. Are you going to know that whether that's a strong team or not? Arsenal will certainly be looking at that. Arsenal fans thinking that's not Mikel Arteta's first team. This is quite close to David Moyes' first team. Only maybe the exclusions of Zuma, who, as we understand it, can't play 2 games a week at the moment anyway. But I do think he's probably going to be all right for the weekend, so I won't read too much into that. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse would normally be starting, and of course, Mikel Antonio. Aside from that, it's a pretty strong team. I'll just pop this comment just up quickly. They probably will. They probably will still have the lion's share of possession. You would absolutely expect that. I'm not denying that, and I'm not denying their style of football. I'm just saying that is not their first team. That there are some big hitters who are not featuring in that team at all. Right then, now let's have a little look. I think, shall we do a little bet? Let's do a little bet. Let me just tell you how this is going to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto, in fact, it doesn't matter who I use. They're not paying us to plug them. So I'm going onto a betting app, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bet together. Now, I do need your help for this, if you don't mind. So there's going to be a few of you who are very, very used to what we're doing. If you are new to the channel, please do hit a like on the video and then subscribe. We're going to put a bet together. It will be quite unrealistic. The reason we do that, if we were just to put a bet together and say, I don't know, Arsenal 1, West Ham 0, we're going to win tuppence. We don't want to win tuppence. We want to make an unrealistic bet so we can give somebody, in the case of it comes in, it might, you never know, lightning strikes, we end up giving someone a few £100. That's really what we want to do here. So we're looking for... Sorry, it just goes so quickly. That's major. He's absolutely right. Those would be slim odds indeed. So I think what we want is a scoreline to West Ham. When I say unrealistic, don't give me 7-0. So maybe can West Ham snatch this game? I think that's okay. 2. Oh, that's interesting. Nick by day. Nick by day. Nick by day, Susan by night. He is saying 3-2 to West Ham. 3-2 to West Ham. I'm actually going to go with that. I think that's probably the thing I'm going to do. You know what? It may be unrealistic, but there you go. But it's a whopping rate. Immediately, that just takes the bet to 28-1, which is exactly what we want. 3-2. I think what we'll do is I'll have a look how the bet is. So, Danny Ings. What did Andy Walsh call Danny Ings? He probably at the game. Probably don't know. I think he might have called Danny Ings Fanny Stings or something like that. Yeah, it was very funny. Maybe he had to be there. I found it very, very funny. Do you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm going to take that, Hayden. I'm absolutely going to take that. A Mavropanos goal. Let's go with that. All right. And then what I'm going to do, I have to jump from one window to another. So thank you very much for that. Because that's his former club, of course, isn't it? So I'm going to do that to score at any time. Whilst I'm doing that, maybe, just maybe, oh, blimey, this ain't too bad. This ain't too bad at all at the moment. Maybe, just maybe, can we also have West Ham's second goal scorer? And then I'm going to be looking. She's shooting that hat trick. You're not mad. Unlikely. You would get good odds for that. It was. It absolutely was. It's a cracker. It really is a cracker. Got more chance of seeing that tonight than it doesn't matter. Forget that joke. It's not a good joke, is it? Okay. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to go with this. Swads, thank you. Potato salad. For those of you that don't know the secret West Ham code, a potato salad means Thomas Souček. And if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. Do a Google. Go do a Google and find out yourself. The rest of us will probably know what it is. I am going to go. Oh, blimey. Oh, that really does boost. That really does boost the odds up, doesn't it? Okay. If I was to have, I'm going to give you lot the choice. All right, I'm going to give you lot the choice. If I put Thomas Souček to be the first goal scorer, now it may change in the time that we're pontificating over it. It can go to it basically it goes at the moment. It's saying the amalgamated bet would go to 800-1. So there's a difference between 130-1 or 800-1. But I'm going to take your lead. Shall I do Thomas Souček to score first, because it makes it a big pot. Okay, do you know what? Hammer 1999 is saying yes, he thinks we should do it. I'll just wait for a little bit more confirmation. So I want the comfort blanket of your approval, you lovely people in the live chat. Really, I have to do it. Well, she says, do it. We're all going to do it. I like this. This is exactly right. I don't. Do you know what? I don't even know why I doubted. I don't even know why I doubted myself. Big Thomas potato salad Souček. Yes, he's in there. Right. I'm going to give you one other chance here. Let's make it ridiculous. We either want a card for a player. Actually, this is easy. Are we going to get good odds for Alvarez or something? We either want a card for a player, or we want maybe an Arsenal goal scorer. The only thing I would say with Arsenal is we don't know how quickly he's going to substitute his players. You're not a funny lot. You're a funny lot. So yes, you say do it. I need to know what to do. Is it a card, or are we going for an Arsenal goal scorer? Do you know what? I'm going to do that. That's it. He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. Let me just see what the odds are on the Paqueta card. Obviously, we just go. Do you know what? The odds haven't changed. The odds actually haven't changed at all. The odds don't change for Paqueta card. That's weird. That's weird. It's like they're saying, no, you ain't having any more money out of us. So I think what we want is an Arsenal goal scorer, please, boys and girls. Do you know what? I've seen Trossard in there. That's the first name I saw. I'm going to see if it doesn't make, it makes no difference. It actually makes no difference at all. So do you know what? If it doesn't make any difference, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for it now. You have to excuse me. I'm looking for this. I'm placing the bet. The bet is placed. There you go. So that's done. I'm going to tell you what the bet is now. And I've got to come up with a phrase that pays. Does someone else want to come up while I'm doing this bet? While I'm doing the admin, does someone else want to come up with a phrase that pays? A little bit saucy if you can. Don't mind that at all. Okay, so here it is, right? This is, if this bet comes in, the full-time score will be 3-2. Mavropanos scores any time and Souček scores first. That's it. That is it. one of you, two people. I don't know whether to do 1,200 quid to one person or six. Two people win 600 quid. Two people win 600 quid. I've got to do it. It's got to be done. Now, I'm sorry. It's what happened when Gio goes away to a Mary Berry book signing. Do you know what I mean? It all goes to pot. But it's a bit like the naughty, the naughty kid when the supply teacher's in. Do you know what I mean? Not that was me, of course. I was always impeccably behaved at school, whether it was a normal regular teacher or a supply teacher. And I know all you lovely people were always impeccably behaved at school as well. So the reason that I have popped up Fanny Stings onto the screen is because well, it sounds a bit like Danny Ings. We used to call him Annie Dings, and it's just sort of morphed and evolved. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning £600, so this is what has happened. All those criteria have to come in. West Ham have to win 3-2. Souček scores first and Mavropanos scores. Two of you in the chat will win £600. Can't say fairer than that, can I really? However, only people that have typed the eternal phrase Fanny Stings, just like Tom has just done there, only you people will be entered into the Fanny Stings competition. Oh my goodness. What a turn it's taken. This is it. It's just good. It's good. Do you know what? If nothing else, I think it's an absolute triumph for YouTube that we've got so many people just typing Fanny Stings into the large chat. I would like to say if you I'm not going to say that. I was going to. Do you know what? There's some jokes that you just shouldn't do, and there's certainly some jokes that you shouldn't do at 12 minutes to 7. So I think we're going to leave that. But all I'd say, if you are having problems down south, do seek medical attention. This is nothing to do with that. This is absolutely the qualifiers for the bet. Right. Anyway, let's get back. Let's move away from the genitalia and let's start talking about football again. Okay, I want to start. I want to know what you lovely lot think of this team. Tell me what you think of the team. No Zuma. We understand it. I don't think there's any way he could have played. Garino needs an ointment. Can I just say, Garino, that is an underused word these days. Cream is used too much, right? So for me, is it? If someone says cream, I'm thinking like an apple turnover or something like that. Do you know what I mean? A bit of squirty cream. That's why I'm thinking cream. If it's for a medical application, I'm thinking ointment. There's just too many people in this world use the wrong word. And I tell you what, you're top of my estimations by using the word ointment. Oh, that's quite good, Mike. That's quite good. Anyway, no, we got to stop doing this. Right. I actually asked you. This is not just my problem. It's your problem. I get the blame for letting this descend into chaos. I've asked you for serious football comment, and all you can do is type rude stuff. Sorry, Ricky's dad. Thank you very much indeed. Ricky's dad. We'll bring it back down. He would rather have seen Cornet instead of Benny. So would I. Actually. I think he. Oh, for goodness sake. Sorry, some of these comments are very funny and absolutely preposterous. I would have liked to see Cornet. Absolutely. I think he would have given us a bit of extra pace down that side. Infuriating, actually, watching Benrahma against Everton. I don't overly blame him because he's right-footed. He just had to keep checking back on his right foot. The problem is with Benrahma, he also gets caught. So he's not fast enough to outstrip his defender. And also, he's not strong enough if he does get a bit of... You can be sort of mid-paced. I don't think he's slow. I just think he's mid-paced, right? I think if you're strong enough, you can keep the guy behind you. That's fine, and you can deliver your cross. But he can't. He's just got to take back, and he's because he always gets caught, he's got to check back, and he ends up crossing with his right foot. I would like to see Cornet. I think it would make us a little bit more direct. That being said, I do wonder without Mikel Arteta and if we need to be crossing it like that. But surely Thomas Big Sue Potato Salad Souček is going to be getting on the edge of the box in this game. I do think we're going to be wanting to utilise his heading power from open play. I mean, the interesting thing is going to be, I'll give you an interesting one, actually. Imagine, here you go, here's a scenario which feeds into our bet. Imagine, if you will, let me set the scene. Mavropanos scores his goal, which undoubtedly will, because it's in the bet, and a corner has been put over by Jared Bowen. Hey, do we need Ward-Prowse anymore? I don't know. Roger is saying, and welcome, Roger, keen to see Bowen up top. Don't want Kudos or Paqueta up there. Do you know what? I think you will. I think you will. Jamor said Ben Rama has been his poor decision making, poor game decision making. He gives the ball away after taking on 100 defenders. I think for me, and not to just dig him out, there's a lot of poor people, by the way. And to me, there were worse players than him against Everton. Let me just say that. There was a point, and he did this thing, which is infuriating in football, and I'm sure you feel the same way about it. It's when you take on a player, you beat him, and then you stop and check back, so you then have to beat him again. What's the point? You know, what was the point? You beat the player, then do your cross, do your pass, or have your shot, something like that. Let me just go for this. Any youngsters on the bench? There are no youngsters on the. Let's call up Bonner a youngster. No youngsters on the bench for this one, I'm afraid, mate. And yeah, he's just gone very, very. Well, he's a very senior team, very serious about this. I think if you were just to look at the teams, and if you would compare both teams with what the respective managers put out on a regular basis in the Premier League, the West Ham team is far closer, isn't it, to the regular league team than Arsenal's is. So, yeah, that's right. He doesn't know. Wait, hey, what are they? What are they? No worries at all, mate. No worries at all. Who? Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to check it out for you. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can find out. Fabianski. There we go. I was able to sort that out quickly. Fabianski's a captain. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite funny, actually. So, well, Gatesy, wherever he's gone, Father Christmas, it was in the preview with me. He was saying that actually he felt we were lacking in leaders. He felt there was a real lack of leadership. I mean, he was certainly was under the impression that Zuma has been given the captaincy, but I mean, it's a funny one, actually, isn't it? If you think about it, having captained it, if we are to believe what we're told, which is Zuma can only play half the games, he can't play midweek, can only play weekend, and he has to have a week's rest. It is an odd choice of captain, isn't it? You sort of do want your captain to be on the pitch as much as possible. But it was just interesting listening to what Gatesy was saying about the lack of leadership, and that's him there, by the way. Go and check out his channel, West Ham Massive. That's Gatesy there. He might get confused with Father Christmas or Captain Birdseye. But he really is genuinely a West Ham fan. But yeah, I mean, lack of leadership. Be interesting to know, to know what you guys think about it. See what Mike was in. I think Mike was on the show last night, actually. Ings is now a trigger of the team, just there to clear up the mess. Nobody wants to clear up. Yeah, he is. Do you know what? It's funny him calling Mike. Thanks for that, Mike. Mike called him a scapegoat. I do see some of that, actually, with Danny Ings. He's sort of incapable of playing within the framework of the team, and it's quite obvious that that's the case. Yeah, I do think. I don't mean a scapegoat by the fans. I think in many respects a scapegoat, if you want, for David Moyes in that sense. I don't know. Let's just pop this up, because this is quite interesting. There, count how many times Paqueta goes down looking for a whistle. Yeah, I wish he would play to the whistle more. I mean, what a fine player. Absolutely a great player, Paqueta, but that's his fault, isn't it? Richard, no, he's not on a bench, matey. No, not at all. And obviously Matt's asking. Yeah, sorry. Look, I mean, obviously, well, I can see now there's far more people watching the show now than when we first started and we were reading the team. There's no youngsters on the bench. There's no striker playing in the team. Never mind a young striker play. So yeah, no Mabama at all. There's some people speculating he was injured. It may well be that. You may have a point there, Grelch. I don't know. I mean, again, that's just speculation. But as I understood it, it was Callum Marshall that was injured rather than Divine Mabama, which is so under 21s had a game last night against Newport County. Neither of those two strikers played. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right. Anyway, listen, been lovely chatting with you. I'm not going just yet, but if I don't start asking the question now, we're not going to have time to talk about it. I'm not going to have time to have a look at what you think the score is going to be. So you've seen the teams. Both teams, you've seen the benches, hopefully. If you're unsure what it is, just have a look on the bottom of the screen there. There's both teams scrolling along the bottom there, beautifully hand-typed by Charlie. What do you think the score is going to be? Now you've seen them. Does anybody think we have a chance of winning, or are we doomed? Are we just going out? Are we destined to spend the whole evening just waiting to lose? This is we really hope this happens, because that's the bet, isn't it? That's the bet. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Nick, Ricky's dad said 2-1. Marky Boy says 0-2. Please do either specify who the score is for, or print it the right way around. So basically, Marky, by saying 0-2, he's saying Arsenal to win 2-0. Or you can just type the score in that way and then type arse afterwards if you want. That's fine. You know what? We've had Fanny typed probably about 300 times in the chat. Might as well type arse as well. 3-2 says Paul Henderson. We have got another arse 3 who won. That's from Mike. Hammerboy08 said go 2-0 Irons, Bowen and Paqueta. Or Paqueta. Well, I'll tell you what, we win 2-0. It ain't Paqueta anymore. It's back to Paqueta. He's dipped, isn't he? He dipped. I thought he was back to Paqueta against Everton. So we want Paqueta again. Aqua says, well, I mean, it's 0-5 to Arsenal. Now, that is... let's bloody hope not. I'm bloody say not much now. Maverick 1-3. Yes, he's saying Arsenal as well. There's as many people and good, hearty, firm and fruity West Ham fans. You're thinking it's going to go the other way. It's not like we're being trolled by loads of Arsenal fans here. We got a 2-1 here. Let's get some more scores. Sneaky 2. Not just a 2-1 from Bernard. That is a sneaky 2-1, which is obviously very, very different to a normal 2-1. I've got a weird thing popping up on my... Not that sort of weird thing popping up on my screen. What do you think this is? Something disgusting. Roger Cook says 1-3. 3-1 Arsenal. We have got Peter says 3-0 Arsenal. Captain Carson. I don't even know why I said that, Chris. Sorry. Do you know why I know? I used to know. Well, clearly you can probably tell. I used to know somebody called Captain Carson, which is why. There you go. So you're Captain Chris Carson, and I don't even know why I did it in a pirate voice. Do you know there's such a thing as International Pirate Day? And the expectation is you speak like a pirate all day. And I don't know which one. I'm going to find out the date of that. I think I might join in. Maybe I'll do the whole video. And not many people will watch it. We'll do it. I'll get an eye patch. Arthur says 2-0. Danny 2-1. Chris, what's that say? 2-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of them. Gary said West Ham 1, Arsenal 2. Christopher 3-2, maybe 3-2 West Ham, which is exactly what we want for the bet. Don't forget to check out the bet if you're wondering what the bet is. The bet is West Ham to win 3-2. Mavropanos to score anytime. Thomas Souček's got to score first. If those unlikely set of circumstances happen, then 2 people in the live chat that have typed the phrase Fanny Stings win £600. If you've never been on Hammers Chat before and all you've done is just seen the last 20 seconds, you're going to be thinking, what is this utter madness? Do you know what? It's quite funny, actually, because keep on talking about, I'm talking about me here, not you guys. Mavropanos is being his former club. But, of course, it's also Fabianski's former club, isn't it? Gareth says a 2-1 to West Ham. Oh, now this is interesting. Do you know what? We've not discussed this at all here. And this, I think this is really, really important. It could go to penalties. It absolutely could go to penalties tonight. So, yeah, I mean, that's interesting. John says 3-0 to Arsenal. Ionix thinks exactly the same. Don't feel you've got to sit. You join me whenever you want, Charlie, whenever you're ready, matey. Mark says Hart says 1-0. His head says 3-1 to the Arsenal. There you go. There's a lot of it on there. Hello, Charlie. How are you, sir?
I've just pulled a muscle in my back while walking into this room, and so I'm in excruciating amounts of pain. However, apart from that, Gonzo, I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm all right. Would you want to go and get your? Do you want to go and get yourself some ointment for it, Charlie, or go and get yourself an naproxen or something?
I've got some paracetamol here, which I'll take
I don't think they're
momentarily.
going to do it. I mean, you know what you need? An anti-inflammatory.
I think I need a doctor or some sort of medical practitioner. It's bad. It's very uncomfortable. But anyway,
So, sorry, how did the twinge happen?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I was pouring a cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Do you know what? You often hear it, don't you? You often hear it. Do you know what I mean? Like someone's back and they say, "I'll put my back out." How'd you put your back out? I picked up a bit of the kid's Lego off the floor or something.
Yeah.
So it could be the most minor of things that can make stuff like that happen. Charlie, sorry, Mark's post been
felt like it was guiding me forward in life. You know, I felt like it was.
What's going on with the poll, please? I don't mean Lucas Fabianski.
Well, hopefully as minimal amount as possible tonight. But we asked how you were feeling about the starting 11. It was 4% of people said they were very unhappy. 9% of people said it's poor. 25% of people were very happy, and 60% were it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
That's a lot of fine, isn't it?
It's a big number of fine. It's probably it's certainly a big number. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting. I don't know, because actually it's quite a strong team. It's quite a strong lineup. In my head, I was expecting a lower average, if you know what I mean. Higher, the two sort of more negative categories, maybe those being a higher percent. But we've put out actually quite a strong team, even though I think the score I haven't seen what the score predictions were as you were going through, but I suspect there's a tone to them which isn't West Ham are going to smash it, you know.
No, I think it's hard because we've just scrolled through them. If you were to ask me what I think it is, I don't know what the most was, probably 2-0 to Arsenal or 2-1 to Arsenal. I think it was more of those than other scorelines. Leonardo has just made a scurrilous accusation. I cannot accept.
To be clear, it was not Gonzo. It was the couple of teams for me. The couple of teams for me. So I've only got myself to blame in that sense.
Yeah, you're right. Had the cup of tea been for me,
then we could take it to some sort of tribunal. I don't know. There could have been something going on, you know. But in this instance,
I'd have you because I've been watching Suits. I know me stuff.
I've heard that you've been watching Suits. I've seen this Suits chat going on.
Yeah. I know me. Oh, the legal stuff I can handle. Actually, did not Leonardo? Was it Leonardo? Did he not have a bad Achilles or something? Did he not have a broken ankle or a fractured ankle or an Achilles or something? Before I go, I'm going to need that confirmed, just so as I don't think I'm mad. And it might have been. And why I would remember such a random piece of information. But I can imagine with that in mind, with injury fresh in his mind, he's probably going to sympathise with you more than me.
Well, then maybe he'll know some sort of injury lawyers for you type situation that I can contact just to get some advice. I'm not saying I'll see you in court, Gonzo. I'm just saying I need to talk to some people first and just see where my legal stance sits.
I don't think you got one. I don't think you've got a leg to stand on, literally.
I've got legs to stand on. It's just the back that I can't support myself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My legs are golden. My legs are good as gold. But, you know,
for sure. So what's the plan for tonight?
Just sit in pain. I don't know. It's a weird game, Gonzo. It's one of those weird ones where, like, I feel like it's super important that we win, and I'm vibing like. It depends on how the lineup looks, because when you look at it, and I can't necessarily guarantee which way around it is, right? So you would, on first glance, you go, right, Bowen's up front, but then you think, well, actually, maybe he's doing a thing with Kudus up front, and then my third thought, which I think is my biggest preference, is Pakatara up front. But it becomes a very difficult conversation, and with a weakened Arsenal side, you look at it, and you go, well, we could probably get at them somewhat. Like it's not exactly a weak team by any stretch of imagination. One of the things about Arsenal is they are very good. It's not exactly a weak side, but it's weaker than usual. But also, I don't have much hope in vibe. So, you know, we're just going to see. We take it as it comes. Roll with the punches.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll have to. And I think as I didn't thought of it before, but when I was reading it out, I was thinking, it might be a false nine. But actually, that gets attributed to everyone else. When Moyes does it, it's not a false nine. Sure. It's like someone has just dropped it. Oh, you know what I mean? All the players have just fallen onto the pitch. Leonardo. We did. He did. He tore his 6 months from surgery. I hope you are make a full recovery, my friends. A full recovery, much like Charlie, a full recovery.
Thank you.
After this
Mine's
video.
nowhere near as bad as that.
No.
My back just hurts and will probably die down over the course of hopefully this evening and then eventually just go away. But, you know.
Captain Carson says, what time is kickoff? It's our past, Captain. It's our past. Half past 7.
23 minutes.
Half past 11. Half past 7.
23 minutes.
In 23 minutes, yeah. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you, Charlie. I'm going to try and make myself a cup of tea without injuring myself.
It's dangerous out here. It's dangerous on these streets, man.
It really is. Have a lovely well, I hope the paracetamol kick in. Have a lovely watch along. I would encourage everybody to stay with Charlie for the watch along. Get a nice vibe throughout. Mute your telly. Listen to Charlie. Watch the game amongst other Hammers fans, and then I will be back. Well, basically about 60 seconds after the game finishes or something like that, 2 minutes after the game finishes, we'll do it, and then we'll do a little review, and well, I guess we'll see what mood I'm in. Quite a good mood actually, so might be grumpy when I do that review, so apologies in advance. Charlie, I'll see you later, mate. You can boot me from the chat because the button's either behind the camera. I'll catch you later.
See ya. Thank you, Gonzo, and thank you everyone for joining. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all well. It's the watch along, ladies and gentlemen. Time to get involved, and we'll start as we always do on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result this evening? I will run through the teams just in case you missed that in full or Gonzo was talking. West Ham line up as such. Oh, he's pressed the button too many times. Okay, right, we're here. Fabianski starts in goal. Sifal, Mavropanos, Aged, Emerson in defence. We have Alvarez and Souček in midfield with Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen and Ben Rama in the forward 4 positions. Now, what exactly that entails, like I was just saying, I'm not sure. You can certainly make arguments for Bowen to be starting up front. That seems like the most obvious thing. You could make arguments for Kudus starting up front. I would prefer to see Paquetá up front, Bowen on the right, Kudus down the middle, Ben Ram on the left. That's what I would prefer. However, we're not sure. It's a strong lineup. It is a very strong lineup. You're looking at that realistically from your first 11. You're switching out Fabianski. You're switching out Mavropanos. And you're switching out Ben Rama. Apart from that, you'd probably say that's your strongest 11. You could maybe make an argument for shoving James Ward-Prowse in there as well somewhere, right? But it's a strong lineup. And compared to Arsenal's first 11 that they're playing, you would argue that we've gone stronger. We argue that we've gone stronger than they have. It will be interesting to see how that plays out. Bench-wise, we have Areola, Cresswell, James Ward-Prowse, Pablo Fornals, Mikel Antonio, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, Angelo Ogbonna, and Thilo Kehrer. So in positional order, that would be Areola, Ogbonna, Kehrer, Cresswell, Ward-Prowse, Fornals, Cornet, Antonio, and Danny Ings. Again, a relatively strong bench for us. Strong enough so in the classic sense that Mobama never makes it in the way it happens. You know, the second we have more than enough senior players on the to be on the bench, then Danny's just never. Mobama just never makes his appearance there. So that's the way it is. But like I say, a strong lineup and a strong bench with 1 or 2 people that could potentially make a difference if we needed it. Especially Mikel Antonio, although he's very tired at the moment and not playing anywhere near to his best. It's nice having at least someone like Antonio on the bench if we need it, which we probably will at some point. We'll see how that goes. There are, of course, ways you can watch the game today. If you're looking for ways to watch it, you can. Scroll down into the link in the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. If you click on that, it's a lovely Hammers Chat West Ham community. Fans of all teams are welcome. However, on the left-hand side, most importantly, is a bit called Stream Links, in which you'll find what you're looking for. Arsenal lineup as such. Aaron Ramsdale starts in goal with White, Kiwior, Gabriel and Zinchenko in defence. Jorginho, Havertz and Vieira start in midfield with Nelson on one side, Trossard on the other and Eddie Nketiah up front. Like I say, definitely a rotated team. Not a weak team by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely rotated, especially in the attacking areas. Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka, for example, none of those starting, all on the bench, alongside Payne, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Rice, El Nene, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli. So a rotated side, defensively still relatively strong. If we're being honest about it, actually quite strong, which will probably be frustrating. But that's going to be by the by for us regardless. Attacking wise, that's where, you know, lots of people with points to prove, lots of people with opportunities to get game time. Arsenal have always been quite good in that sense where it comes to the League Cup and wasn't meant to click that one, but vibes. Let's just click that one on you. Lots of opportunities when it comes to League Cup type things, giving people opportunities. They always have been, and they're doing the same again tonight. And it'll be. We'll have to be wary of the likes of Nelson and Trossard and Nketiah and the like, because that could be a thing. But let's have a look at some of these score predictions. Evening, Nathan. Good to see you. Thank you very much, Dean. Get involved if you haven't already. Come on, lads. Come on, lads. Get involved. Right. That's me. That's me, Mark. That's me. I'm having a bad time. I'm having a bad time. Right. 3, 2, 3. -8, 7, 3. I have a good feeling about West Ham tonight. It says Stu 7. Love that, Stu. 1, 1, 3, 0, 4, 8. 2.78. Wally, sir. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Two Spanners legend, of course, Wally. Among other things, American Hammers. You know, Molly's been around. Molly's been around. He's done bits. He's departed wisdom on many things, but still. How are you, bro? Hope you're good. 1, 3, 7, 4, 4, 1, 1, 7, 6, 3. There's a couple of outliers. I mean, I was expecting the sort of low scores we're seeing, but there's a couple of outliers. Mandy here, for example, saying a 7. Alan saying 3 for a win, 90 minutes, 5 for us to progress. A little bit higher there. It's very interesting. It's interesting actually because it's slightly higher than I would suspect. I mean, the average is still very low. Don't get me wrong, but 8 for some inexplicable reason, says Dave. For example, -5 says Philip, obviously dragging the average down. Good to see you, Chuck. Hope you are, bro. Another two Spanish legend. It's one of those ones where it's interesting because it sort of moves around a little bit. There are it's maybe perhaps more outliers than I would expect. Perhaps more outliers than I would expect. Let's say sub bingo. Sub bingo is an interesting one because I think it sort of gets into the nitty gritty of your vibe. Where we predict the game it's the game where we predict when David Moyes will make his first substitute. Of course, you don't have to include the sub specifically, but I'll have them running across the bottom of your screen. I'm going to say 69 as per, and I'm going to say Ben Rama for Antonio. I think I want Ben Rama, Antonio 69. That's what I could see happening. You know, Paquetá moves to the left. If he's not already starting there, just Antonio takes that role up front, regardless of which way around it goes. I reckon that's potentially how that would happen. -41 says Obsidian. You hate to see it. Well, that's what I say. Result for West Ham. Although you do raise a point on the technicality, maybe something I should look into it. Andy saying Kudus will be up top. Rams are saying Bowen striker. There's something maybe we should do. Maybe figuring out who we think's going to play up front. We'll see. Who creates everyone else? So the reason I say it, so it's only happened twice, I think maybe 3 times, right? And it's only been towards the end of games when Antonio's come off and he's sort of taken up that front role. And it's because he's the best at it by such a significant distance. There's no one else in our team who works in a David Moyes style system as well as him, in my opinion, apart from Mubama, but obviously we know Mubama's not playing and he's never going to play, so it's just what it is. He has that hold up and he has that ethereal presence in a sense where it makes defenders panic. They get drawn to him. So as the ball gets played further up the pitch, we've got Mark Paquetá. He's so good. We got to figure out what he's doing, and he has the strength. We see it when he plays on the left, and he comes deep, and he has the strength to hold off 1 or 2 players. Has the ball control to just find nice passes, flicks and tricks, and all that sort of stuff that really works. And you sort of take that and you put it in the striking position as well. where he has an element of hold up play that no one else has, in my opinion. Jarrod Bowen can't do it. Every time we've seen Jarrod Bowen play up front, it's gone badly, in my opinion. I can't name a single game in which Jarrod Bowen playing up front has gone well for Jarrod Bowen. I can't name a single one. Equally, Kudos doesn't have that vibe for me either. He's not got strength. He's not got any. He can't. In my head, I can't see him leading a line. I would love to be corrected, and if he starts today and he leads the line, that would be a beautiful thing because that gives us an option there. But I can't see it. I've had lots of conversations with people who have called for Kudos to play up front recently, and I just leading a line is a very difficult task and different task to what Kudus is really good at. Kudus is really good at picking up the ball, finding those pockets of space in behind the midfield and defense in that sort of strip across the pitch where, you know, there's no midfielders and there's no defenders. He's incredible at finding that space, picking up the ball, driving into it. That's not really what you want from a striker. That's sort of Danny Ings is dropping into those spaces from up front, and that's kind of one of his biggest problems with playing up front for Moyes. That's not to say Kudus couldn't do it. I think there's some attributes to Kudus' game which makes him a better replacement for Antonio than say Paquetá does. But the actual ability of Paquetá, what he brings to that position, I think is more beneficial. So it's like, who creates? Well, you have Ben Rama there, you have Ben Rama so you have Ben Rama, you have Bowen, you have Kudus, you have those players, Emerson, you have Sufal doing their usual thing. It's basically the exact same team we would do usually, except you just have someone up front who can also hold up the ball, which is not something anyone else apart from Mikel Antonio can do. And I hear a lot of people saying Mikel Antonio can't do it. That's my reasoning anyway. But it's on very little evidence. It's on very little evidence. Like I say, I've only seen it 2 or 3 times, and it's been for not very long. Towards the end of games, 20 minutes here, half an hour there, something like that. So not exactly a long period of time where this has happened before. But I do think without Antonio, it's probably our best option, in my opinion. Trying to create space for others, but it is what it is. It's nothing is difficult. I know people would probably read into this like that. I would say this about Mubama. When we have a full strength side, when we have a full strength bench, when we don't have injuries, he never makes it regardless. And in a situation where we already have 2 senior strikers on the bench today, there was very little chance a youth team striker gets on that bench. I know it's massively disappointing. So for example, where is it? Sorry, it's literally one underneath it. Forest Gate Lad says, disappointing no Marshall or Mubama. I strongly agree. I would love to see them getting a chance, but this is just the way David Moyes works. He's always been like this. I don't think the news this week has literally anything to do with the fact Mubama isn't on the bench. In the same way that we look at the bench and there's no Ben Johnson. You know, Ben Johnson, the 2 people who drop out when we have a full strength team are Ben Johnson and Mubama. It always happens every single time without fail. It's been happening for months. It's got nothing to do with the news this week. Don't get me wrong. The news this week is probably it's the fact it happens all the time is probably why the news this week exists, as opposed to it's happened today because of the news this week. If that makes sense. Here's what it is. Appreciate you, Henry. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing good. We'll get onto score predictions soon, so start ruminating on those final ones before we lock it in. What does Kera have to do to get a start? He was far from one of our worst in Europe. Another cup competition is still on the bench. Yeah, I just don't think he's not very good. Is a harsh way of putting it. I don't think he suits this system unless he's playing at right back, and we've gone full strength today in terms of that. So I can't really complain too much. I mean, in terms of strength, we've pretty much gone full strength outside of Antonio and Areola. And Zuma, who just can't play that many games. And so if you say to me, which player would I prefer to see step in when Zuma is not fit, it'd be Mavropanos. That's my opinion. And I don't see where he would start regardless. I wouldn't like to see him. I don't like Kera in a back 2 regardless, but I wouldn't like playing at left centre back. Seems like a terrifying prospect to me. And if we're going full strength and he doesn't get in ahead of Sufal, could you play him at right back if we were rotating potentially? But I don't particularly like him there either. I think a back 3, I can see an idea where a back 3 system would work for him. And I can see a situation where we have the players for a back 3 system actually, and potentially a situation in which we would go to it relatively soon. But in a back 2 like we've gone today, it doesn't vibe for me. The thing is, we're in a bad run of play, right? We're in a bad run of play. Like, there's lots of talk about Marshall, for example. He's scoring lots of goals. There's lots of talk about Mubama and some of the other youth players. And is this a perfect time? Yes, but in a bad run of form and you're coming up against a very good Arsenal team, I don't think it is necessarily. It's one of those situations where would a win be more beneficial to the club than Mubama or Marshall getting some game time? Then yes, is probably the answer. I think if you played youth players tonight and lost, I think David Moyes would still be under the same pressures he's under now. Whereas if David Moyes plays the strongest players and wins, then that pressure gets alleviated. This isn't a game we can just simply write off. If this was against a lower opposition than Arsenal, like when the draw was happening, I think Mansfield was still in a draw, someone like that, Mansfield, someone like that, then I would suspect you would see some of those young players. But in a game against Arsenal, I don't think David Moyes can risk it right now, unfortunately. It's a shame because I would love to see it, but yeah. How many would be first choice? Ramsdale's dropped out this season. You'd argue Ben White, Gabriel, Zinchenko all first choice. Havertz should probably be first choice, although, whatever. Outside of that, probably none of them. So 3 of the back 4. 3 of the back 4, potentially one of the midfield. That's it. Would be my argument. But again, if there's any Arsenal fans in chat, do let me know how many you think. Sorry, just seeing madness as I try and catch up. How are you, bro? How are you? Have you been on the Doctor Who binge today? I don't know if it got added today. I think it got added today to iPlayer. I was watching the BBC Proms Doctor Who earlier. That was my first port call. They've added all of these ones that I've never seen from the 60s and 70s and 80s, and I was like, the Proms. But Murray Gold, legend. I tell you what, I'm trying to get through, trying to find it. I said Gonzo mentioned it a bit. There's going to be a little bit of switching up a little bit. And Ray's away this week. He's in Paris, so vibes. But there'll be a full discussion at some point on the Patreon, I suspect. I think it's just, we don't know exactly, but right now it's probably just going to be Gonzo and Ray. But we'll see what happens. We haven't fully figured it all out yet. We're still moving pieces around. Let's get straight to score predictions, shall we? We've got about 6 minutes to go while I run through some of your sub bingos. Let's get to score predictions. We've spoken about the teams. We've spoken about the subs. We've spoken about Arsenal. We've spoken about their subs. We've spoken about it all from different angles. It's time to finally get those final score predictions in. No more flipping, no more flopping, no more fence sitting. Let's get them in and lock them in. Not as emphatic as usual because my back is really painful. However, still a necessary vibe. 57 minutes says Leonardo on sub bingo. I'm going wild. 50 minutes Antonio for Ben Rama. 120-minute Mark Noble revive to take pens. I'd take that, Mulch. I'd take that. Bring him on for pens. I'd be more than here for it. 60 minutes Cornet for Benny. 63 minutes Cornet for Ben Rama. Just having a little scroll. I can't see it. The chat is moving very inconsistently weird today. Oh, I can see Lee. Good to see you, Lee. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're good. I'm trying to see. The chat is. I might be a bit lost with the chat, ladies and gentlemen, right now. It'll probably calm down in a minute because I'm scrolling through in a weird way, but it's certainly going all over the shop. No, I can't find the rest of them. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess to chat. I can at least get to see it. But there's so much. Yeah, there's a lot. I did also see they'd uploaded all the top 2, or at least I saw the words Doc 2 confidential, which is very exciting. For me at least specifically. We need Matt Smith. Get him up. An awful lot of running to do in a David Moyes system is very true. It's very, very true. 1-0 to Arsenal, says Steve. 3-0 says Woody. 3-1. 2-0. 20-0 West Ham. Bowen 20, says Jaymore. 7-0 to the Irons. Big. Love you. Hope you're well, bro. 4-1 to Arsenal. 3-1 to Arsenal. 1-1 Irons win on pens. Ooh. Ooh, I love that. Glenn. 4-0 to Arsenal, sorry, but I don't see us winning this game. 3-1 to Arsenal, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. It's a shame. It seems unlikely, doesn't it, Jordan? I hope somehow mathematically it works out. I haven't taken the time to figure out if it's still mathematically possible, but it seems unlikely now, unfortunately. Listen, as long as we top the group, I'm fine with it. That's all I really care about, is getting first in the group. But at the same time, yeah, it's a shame. 8-7 on Pens, 41 to miss, says Michael Stress. 3-1 to Arsenal, says E. Davis. Pardon me. West Ham on Pens after a dry 0-0 game. 74 minutes, corner for Benny. 2-2, West Ham win on Pens. 92 minutes, Ings for Bowen. 76 minutes, pay it for Bowen, flying in right now. That one I would take less. But you know, the vibe is there. Wayne says Cornet starts warming up at 60, comes on at 74. Strong. 75 minutes, Nolan for Ings. Oh, Lee, come on, Lee's back in the beef. It's a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Lee's back in the beef. Let's go. 3-0, I'm afraid, Charlie. 65 minutes, Cornet for Benny. 76 minutes, pay it flowing in. He's coming in. Jay's confident. He's saying it, so he's confident. Hart says 2-1. West Ham. Head says 4-0 Arsenal. It's not necessarily... I don't think either. I think he'll be clapped more than he'll be booed, but I don't think it should be. I don't really care either way. If I was there, I would clap it, but that's about it. There's a Clyde Langer episode of the news. I was thinking about Sarah Jane Adventures. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I did have a conversation with my girlfriend about Sarah Jane Adventures. We'll move on to score predictions as we roll through. I feel like it's not unsurprising that the score predictions are going mostly Arsenal's way, if we're being honest. It is one of those games where the vibe is the vibe. We're in a bad run of form right now. We're in a rut. Arsenal aren't exactly in the same sort of rut, are they? And, you know, if you were to back one, usually you'd probably back Arsenal. And in this kind of vibe, you'd probably back Arsenal again. We don't have Antonio out in front. That is kind of a massive problem for us. On top of that, you know, a Arsenal team which has a relatively strong defence out, even if the rest of their team isn't super strong, is a problem for us. So we'll see how it ends up playing out, but I can't see. I mean, I just can't see is the answer to that question. However, I will be able to see the match because it's live on Sky Sports this evening. Kickoff is in just a few moments' time. Of course, I will be slightly behind you just with the way these things work, but I do have a timer in the top corner which will say exactly how far behind you I am just there. So once it kicks off on my screen, I'll be clicking on that and you'll be able to see. However, if you are looking for ways to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. Scroll down into the link in the description below. There's a bit there called join our Discord, lovely Hammers chat community. Fans of all clubs are, of course, welcome to a place to come and chat football, but more importantly, on the left-hand side is a bit there called stream links, which you'll find what you're looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's West Ham versus Arsenal in the 4th round of the EFL Cup at the London Stadium. We are about to kick off on my screen. We're getting there. I wouldn't usually answer it well, but it's an incredible way of wording it. Yeah, probably. I would say a 40% chance, which is significantly higher than the 0% chance, say, a month ago. You know what I mean? I think we're there. I can hear bubbles playing. Both teams are out on the pitch. Arsenal in a little huddle. West Ham lining up. It looks like Paquetá's the one who's going to be taking goal kickoff. Finn's thinking 4-0. I think I'm going to go... I don't know. I think Arsenal will score. I have confidence that we'll score for some reason. I'm going to say 2 on Arsenal. That's the vibe I'm going to go. 2 on Arsenal, which seems insane, but that's what I'm going to go with. Paquetá to kick off. The referee checks with both goalkeepers if they're ready. West Ham versus Arsenal, 4th round of the EFL Cup. About to get underway. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run 2 things, indeed. Jared Bowen looking like the one who's potentially up front early doors. Sorry if this might squeak slightly. Apologies if that did happen. Bowen was the one looking to press, although he looks more right-hand side right now. Thomas Souček roaming forward. Souček and Alvarez in this situation is going to be interested to see if we get a little bit of an adventurous Souček. That would be really useful for us. Really useful for us. Again, slips it forward to Paquetá, who seems to be playing in the 10. So early on, it looks like we're getting Jarrod Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, Ben Rama on the left, and Paquetá in the 10, with obviously just behind him Alvarez and Souček. That seems to be what it is. Ball over the top from Mavropanos goes wanting, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Mavropanos, of course, a former Arsenal player. He was there very, very young. It didn't really work out for him. Went out on loan. Didn't really get the opportunities. Went away. Made his name in Germany before coming to join us. MC, good to see you. Good to see you. Don't actually know. If anyone knows who the ref is, feel free to let Pete know, because I actually genuinely don't know. I never take that information in. All tackled, saying I would have used Cornet on the left. Hopefully we'll be up for this and give it a good go. Yeah, I hope so too. I'd be interested. I am sort of eternally optimistic about Cornet, even though it's been a long time since I've seen any signs of that vibe. I still have it in me. Good interception for Alvarez there. Arsenal come away with the ball, but it's nicely done there. It is definitely Jarrod Bowen up front, which in my opinion is a mistake, but there we go. Lawrence. Good to see you, sir. Hope Kentucky is treating you well. Hope you're doing well, bro. Yeah, it's not my favourite. It's not my favourite. And I feel like in 10 years, I'm going to be like, oh, do you remember that Arsenal kit? It banged, but I don't like it. I don't like it personally. Simon Hooper, there we go. Thank you very much, Adam. I never pay attention to these things. Yeah, look, Jordan's also saying Simon Hooper. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. So we're playing. I can tell you the formation is a 4-2-3-1. I was just checking what Pete said first before I started answering it in case I was wrong. The formation is a 4-2-3-1. So we're playing we're playing Fabianski in goal. From right to left, you've got Soufbal, Mavropanos, Aged, and then Emerson. You've got a midfield two of Souček on the right and Alvarez on the left. You then have Kudus at right wing, Paquetá down the centre, Ben Rama on the left, and Jarrod Bowen up front. It's a 4-2-3-1. In possession, at least. Whether that changes to a 4-1-4-1 in defence, we'll have to see. But at least in possession, that's what you're looking at. With Thomas Souček sort of roaming forward when we have the ball in advanced areas to get in there, which is a good thing. Good thing for me. True. I'd take that. I would take that. Oh, that's well done there. And now Paquetá can come away with the ball. Nicely dispossessed. The through ball is just way too heavy. He just completely hit the... he tried to hit the little reverse pass through. Win it back in the defensive areas. Kudus turns and plays through Paquetá nicely, steaming through. He didn't have anyone on in the pressure. Jarrod Bowen just finds the run in. It's good defending from Arsenal. They space it out well, and when they come across at the right time to just sort of narrow that gap, it almost worked. Almost a little bit more of a deft touch, and potentially we could have seen Bowen through on goal there, but that Arsenal front four, again, a little bit, a lot weaker than their usual. It's got a very nightmarish feel, you know. It's got a very nightmarish feel there, kid. Should also say, apart from the immense back pain I'm in, I also have a horrendous cough. And so at some point, I'm probably going to have to go into a couple of coughing fits. That cold I had on the last watch along, that developed into a really harsh cough. Oh, he does really well. That the Arsenal player skips in. Mavropanos does well to put his foot in and get it away, but he's gone down holding his shin. Maybe just Nelson, maybe I've trod on him by accident, I think. It's a brilliant little flick, I think, from White into Nelson. And it's Nketiah was maybe the one who trod on him. Nelson does really well there. Yeah, it was well done by Mavropanos just to get his foot in. But yeah. Yeah, that cold is developed into a very, very bad cough. Which thankfully today is slightly better. If this was yesterday, it would have been a massive, massive problem. But I will at some point have a coughing fit, so I apologise for that in advance. Apologising for that in advance. Ben, I can help you out with that one, mate. There are definitely places you can look. Callum Marshall getting shouted out on the commentary, weirdly, saying how he's not made the bench tonight. A very, very odd thing to talk about, but there we go. Talking about the FA Youth Cup win where we beat Arsenal. Marshall was playing that game. What game that was, by the way. We did a watch along for it. It banged. Well, Alvarez is hunting Havertz down there. He ends up fouling him in the end. But he just kept chasing and chasing and chasing. That's me, baby. That's me, baby. I've been drinking smoothies today. I went to the shops at 7 a.m. this morning because I was still up. Bought fruit and stuff. Walked through the pouring rain. Probably a bad idea. You know, vibes. See, I understand the vibe. I'm always here for a cup, you know. Always here for a cup run. Why not, you know? What else we got? Free kick, left hand side, almost on the touchline, whipped in. Oh, danger! Jesus Christ, that almost went in. Nelson whips it in swinger from the left hand side, like a deep corner. And I don't know who it was that got their head onto it. I think it was Havertz. Sort of makes a run to the front of the pack and sort of nods it on, and Fabianski reaches up and palms it over. Almost caught him completely unawares there. Does well to stop it. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal now from their right, our left. It's going to be an in-swinger. Run for the back, move in. Thankfully, Souček is there. Corner. Oh, Benrahma does well just to shake off Reiss Nelson there. Although Reiss Nelson stops him in his tracks. Benrahma complains about a foul. I don't know if there was one. Reiss Nelson just sort of outpaced him and outmuscled him there. It's difficult for Benrahma. There wasn't any options on for him because it was such a quick breakaway and he was further up the pitch that it just ended up happening. That corner kick routine from Arsenal, by the way, we're going to have to keep an eye on that a little bit. We, of course, play zonal defence at corners. Ball over the top from Arsenal. White trying to dink it in. Souček trying to find Benrahma on the turn. It's going to be an Arsenal throw. To which Benrahma was like, what? We're going to have to be an interesting one for that. Then we, of course, play zonal from corners. And Arsenal sort of went a pack beneath the back post, so quite far away. And then as the ball got played in, they all ran across the front line, which I can imagine would cause some problems with our defence in that scenario. Arsenal overplay it. That was going to be offside and it goes out for a goal kick, which we'll take. But yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We do have oranges. I will say this, though, we do have bells as well. I'll leave it up to the chat. Obviously, an orange would probably be more beneficial health-wise for me today. But we do have both, depending on what we feel like is necessary at the time. We do have both. Yeah, he's not really a big guy, is he? It's not his vibe. He is not Jeff. He's on the bench. I'll put both teams running across the bottom of the screen. I forgot that the bench was still up, but there you go. There's both the starting 11s as they start. Jeff, I hope you're well. Not in my opinion, Frankie. Not in my opinion. Like I say, I feel like we should try and something else, but there we go. We are where we are. We are where we are. Arteta with control of the ball. So not Arteta, Arsenal with control of the ball. Commentator said Arteta, so my brain just confluenced itself. Out wide to Trossard, tries to cut inside. Diggs' pass was pretty woeful. There was no one even close to it. Don't know what he was aiming for, and it goes out for a goal kick. We'll take that. Opening 5 minutes, we were certainly sort of on their case a little bit. At this point, it is pretty much Arsenal in control of the game. Not necessarily unexpected for Arteta versus David Moyes. Definitely not an unexpected turn of events. See how this plays out. We have. It's very true. It's very true. Good to see you, Budge. How are you, sir? If you haven't subscribed to Green Street Elites, what are you doing, bruv? What are you doing? Budge is out here doing bits. CD, getting involved. You know? Synergies. I don't know what I'm saying either. Subscribe to Green Street Elites, what I'm saying. If you are, Budgie, bro. I wish. None of that today, but I wish. Although it probably would equally bung me up, but I want it in my life. Paquetá rarely losing out the ball there. And then straight away gets back on Reece Nelson's case, harries him and wins a throw-in. You'd love to see it. But then, there never was going to be. This is why I didn't want Jarrod Bowen up front. But with Jarrod Bowen up front, it's just not a thing that we can do. We're relying on everyone behind him to be the people who will have possession inside the area. That's Jarrod Bowen plays off that last man. We'll see how it ends up playing out over a long period of time. But yeah. Appreciate that, John, bro. Appreciate it. From all West Ham fans, I appreciate it. As I speak apparently for everyone. Not that any of them would agree with that. Sufal just getting a little bit caught up, taking a little bit of time, and then we end up passing it back to Fabianski, who looked like with every fibre of his being, he wanted to boot it long. But we're trying to take our time and pass it around. Not something I would necessarily suspect with the lineup we've gone with, but we're trying to play it around a little bit. We ended up playing it long and it going over the top of everyone. But a good harrying from Kudos wins a throw-in. Good work, Kudos. Good work. Yes. Good little pressure there. We win a throw-in in a very advanced position. So advanced, in fact, that Sufal's coming to do a long throw. First cough of the evening. I'm just going to get into a nice position first because my back is going to... This is going to kill my back. Right into the box, ends up going out. Oh, Jesus. Oh, played forward. Reece Nelson charging down the wing now for Arsenal on the right-hand side, being harried the entire way. Well done, Said Benrahma. That was brilliant. Fair play. He'd been beaten by Nelson just moments ago, and in this time, charges after Nelson, who was on the counter-attack for Arsenal, literally, basically the entire length of the pitch, or at least half the pitch, to get back and a beautiful tackle. Well played, Said. Not something I see him do very often. I love that. Love a bit of that. Hello, WDTV. Hope you're well. Hope you're all well, bro. No idea who you are. Don't know what you do. But I'll say this. WDTV, hello. Hello. I know. The good old days. The good old days. Paquetá he's looking to try and play the ball forward to Bowen. The centre backs are just holding on Bowen in a specific way. Oh, ball over top looking for Kudos, who's almost just managed to sneak in. It's going to be a corner. Gabriel, the one who cuts it out. Again, Jarrod Bowen trying to play on that last man. You can see Paquetá looking for the through ball, but it's not quite working. But it just left a huge space there for Kudos, who gets in, just sprints away from Zinchenko, gets in behind Gabriel, who's forced to make a sort of saving header away from it. Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. We'll take that all day. And it's going to be a corner. No James Ward-Prowse, unfortunately. This position he's done it before. Jared Bowen whips it in. Oh, goal! Own goal! Christ. It's 1-0 to West Ham. I think it was Ben White with the own goal. Ramsdale was talking to the referee. Don't know why. Ball got played in from Jared Bowen, not a usual corner taker, obviously James Ward-Prowse, but it's just floated into a decent area, and Ben White tries to come across, and under seemingly no pressure heads it in. We're looking at the replay again now here. Jared Bowen from the right, in swinger. There's no pressure on him at all. I don't know why he does that. He just looks a little bit lost. And I think Ramsdale was maybe complaining to the referee about going down. There's no foul there. There's no nothing. That's. I don't know how. We'll take that all day. It's probably against the run of play. I don't know if you could use them when we deserve it, but I'll take it all day. It's West Ham United 1. It's Arsenal 0. A commentator has just said, I don't think Ben White can quite believe what he's done. I can't quite believe what he's done. I'm still not sure why he did it. But 1-0, we absolutely played it. Oh my God, Havertz almost gets in behind instantaneously. We take it. We will take it. Trossard the ball over the top looking for Havertz. It wasn't Trossard, sorry, Vieira. It's a nice run from Havertz, but he can't make it happen on the other side. Ben White with the own goal. West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0. It would be beautiful. It would be beautiful in Collingwood. I can't lie. I can't lie. It would be beautiful. Oh my God, a classic David Moyes defensive performance would be beautiful right now. An all-timer would be a lovely situation to be in. Fabio Vieira trying to flick it through. Nelson trying to trick his way into the box. Can't quite make it happen. Jared Bowen very deep there. And wins a free kick. We'll take it. We will take it. An excellent header. Just redirecting power. I can't believe he's done that. I don't know what the idea at all was there. Just take that paracetamol. I haven't taken it yet. Run for Jared Bowen doesn't quite work out. Rolls into the hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Like I say, it feels like it's been, not I don't want to say all Arsenal, but certainly they've been the more dominant of sides. So the fact that we've managed to take the lead with a bit of fortune, we'll take that all day. And if we can now make it difficult for Arsenal, make it rough, because we are always better when we take the lead. If we can just make this as rough and tumble as possible, really put in a classic defensive performance, because Arsenal don't have their strongest attacking lineup on. They obviously have some very scary subs they could go for, but if we can make this as difficult as possible, Kudos, Bowen hitting them on a counter could really work for us. I mean, we'll see how this plays out. Let's take some paracetamol before I die. Good to see you wherever you are. Oh, my back. Round the back, looking for Havertz. I'll tell you what, he's finding some good space. Trossard trying to just stab it into Kai Havertz there. Arsenal finding good spaces. I will say that much. Havertz specifically roaming around in in the sort of box, arriving late, playing that slightly deeper role than we saw him play at Chelsea, allowing him to arrive late, sort of back to the strengths he had where when he was playing in Germany before he signed for Chelsea. Being able to arrive late, find space, Raudendeuter style, very Thomas Muller-esque, in just being able to pick and choose his spaces. Thomas Muller, Kevin Nolan, all the greats. And he's doing it well today. Ball played through, looking for Jarrod Bowen, can't quite make it happen. Found the build up, but it's what it is. Foul against Jorginho. Alvarez, apparently that one's also a foul. That one I felt like was less of a foul than the first one. I will say the referee is very foul happy today. So we're gonna have to be keeping an eye on that to some extent, because there is a lot of there's a lot of little fouls happening from the ref. Could have picked the ball, maybe takes him to. One of the things he's going to have to learn in the Premier League is just being able to take less touches. You can see there, he takes a couple of touches, one of them a little bit too heavy, and it just carries on. Oh, that's really well done there. Played through for Jarrod Bowen, couldn't quite find it. I think it's Paquetá steamed onto it. Doesn't quite make it happen. Again, Bowen just doesn't have that quite striker's instinct. It's going to be a throw into Arsenal. And he should, Jean-Claude? Jean-Claude? We're going to go with Jean. He probably should. I mean, it's what we do best. It's definitely what we do best. Arsenal passing it around. Trying a little flick turn there against another foul against Alvarez. He's getting frustrated. Fabio Vieira is the one who goes down. Again, I can't see a situation which these aren't going to be fouls, and that one probably was just a little step in. I will say this just in general, try not to spam in chat. Don't want to annoy people. Going to be a free kick to Arsenal on the right hand side. Not in any sort of decent cross. I mean, it's a good crossing position. Not super dangerous. It feels like a position we should be able to deal with, but Ben Whiteheader at the opposite end, and Fabianski just needs to make sure to palm that one over. I think it was going over otherwise, but he palmed it over regardless. Arsenal with various set-piece plays designed to go up against our zonal marking, it feels like. Yeah, I don't think that one was going in regardless, but Fabianski just making sure it doesn't go in. Left-hand side, Arsenal to play it in. Bloody hell, it was a close corner header from Eddie Nketiah. Goes wide, thankfully. He just runs across the entire back line. Again, those set piece, those corner routines, we're going to have to be aware of. They do the exact same thing again. Everyone bunches up at that back post and then just runs across the entire length of the back line as they all stand zonally. And Eddie Nketiah just gets a completely free header there. It doesn't make sense. Rice warming up. More claps than boos. I'm happy. More claps than boos. We take. There were definitely some boos. You could definitely hear a couple of boos, but for the most part, there were more claps. There was a lot more applause for Declan Rice warming up there than there were anything else. Arsenal fans chanting Declan Rice, he left because you're crap. Should be more impactful if they were winning this game. That kind of vibe, but we move. Trossard playing the ball in towards Zinchenko, tries to flick it into Nketiah, who's just harried there well by Mavropanos, who strides forward. Go on, Mavro. Dinos just going all the way forward down the line. He just carries on going and wins a corner. Good work. Good work. He wins the ball back and then goes on a lung-busting run up the entire length of the pitch. And he kept looking to release it, and it just was never a good option. So he just kept going and going. Big guy, capable of doing those sort of things. You love that. And he wins a corner. Very happy with that. It's doing okay. It's doing all right so far. I don't think they've been challenged too much. There's been some movement, which in general we've not picked up on too well. But in general, I think those two are doing okay. Ball whips in from Bowen, the same position as last. Bloody hell, that came close again. Oh, there's a flare up here between Souček and I think Ramsdale. Don't know what's gone on there. The ball gets played across from the corner originally. There's a sort of glancing header across towards the back post, to which Thomas Souček was attacking it alongside someone else. And Ramsdale was react very angrily to whatever happened. Ball gets played in. Let's look at the replay. Jared Bowen whips it in. Edson Alvarez nods it on. Souček and Aguerd are both there. Okay, so they were both going for it, and Souček rises up, and Souček's hand ends up all up in Ramsdale's face. And it's sort of pushed in like that. Not useful, but it is what it is. They seem to be okay now. Arsenal trying to play out from the back, bit of pressing from West Ham here. Jared Bowen trying to harry it down. They managed to play out of it, Arsenal. Still quite advanced are our players. Paquetá now getting involved in the press, pushing Arsenal to the limits. Jared Bowen diving in. It's gonna go out for a goal kick, but you love to see it. It's good press, good press. I saw a name that I need to scroll back to. Where is it? Where is it? There he is. CD, good to see you, sir. How are you? We're winning. Vibes. Let's go. It was an own goal. Ben White from a header from a corner. It was completely unchallenged. It was. You have to look back at it. It's an insane own goal to concede. I don't know why the heck he's done that. However, yeah, we're winning. It's as you would expect. Mikel Arteta versus David Moyes. They are certainly way more possession. But our defensive display has been relatively good so far. Kai Havertz has been finding decent amounts of space, which is a bit of a problem because he's just sort of randomly popping about. But we're dealing with what they have pretty well, and we're winning, which is obviously hugely beneficial to us. But we'll see how it plays out because obviously Arsenal are the more aggressive of the side, obviously have all the possession. It's Arteta versus David Moyes. It doesn't matter what stadium it's in, that's always going to happen. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. But I hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well. Yeah, I say it every single time, but Ada, hope you're well, bro. It just naturally flows out of me, you know. I know, both at once. At once. Lesser scenes never been seen. Does really well with the press there. Does really, really well. I think we all did. Paquetá getting involved as well. It's just nicely done. If they want to play out from the back, something we should be seeing more of from us. And here again, there was a pass out to Ben White, and clearly Ben Rama just went flying at him to try and stop him. A little bit of ball back to Ramsdale. A sort of unchallenged press here, just keeping to close those passing lanes. Ramsdale spending 10 seconds on the ball, maybe more, not even really looking for a pass. They want us to press them. They're looking for the press. They want to do the Brighton thing where they're sort of tempting the press, giving them the space and behind and then going quickly. But it's working pretty well for us right now. Look at that, flying forward. I don't know who that was. Is it Emerson again? Sorry, not Emerson. It was either Emerson or Ben Rama. I think it was Ben Rama to try and stop him. Oh, Paquetá and Kudos teaming up with the press. It was nice. Referee says no foul that time, and forward come Arsenal. This is the situation they wanted to trick us into. Counter attack. We're at 6s and 7s. Nelson crosses it across. Mavropanos easily gets that one away. Just wasn't fast enough from them, really, was it? Flicked forward, doesn't quite work out. Alvarez, nice little touch in towards Kudus, who plays it across. Maybe a little bit too OTT for Ben Rama. Nelson takes the shot, it deflects outwards, and it's going to be a corner. It's going to be a corner. That's the vibe, Olivia. That's the vibe. We back it. Good morning, Sat. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. We are winning. Ben White own goal. Third Arsenal corner of the day. Are they going to do the exact same routine they have been doing? They are. You got Ben White standing on Fabianski, everyone else sort of standing towards the back post, and then they slowly jog across and they get another uncontested header. Like I said, we're going to have to pay attention to that routine because it seemed to be working properly against us, and it's happened again. It's a good as a routine. I don't know if they've been doing this all season, but it works a treat against us. Again, just in case for the people who are just joining, we play zonal defensive. We play a zonal defense from corners, which means we're not trying to man mark. We're just standing in specific areas to stop the balls going there. And so what Arsenal are doing from corners is they've got one man on Fabianski to put him under a bit of pressure to sort of stand and cause a little bit of trouble, and then the rest of their team. So if they're like, in fact, I'll tell you what, I don't. So the rest of their team sort of stand, congregate at the back post, just sort of deeper than the back post. So in fact, actually, let me try doing this. I haven't used this button in a while. Let's see if this still works. Oh, I pressed it twice again. Didn't need to do that. That's right. So you have to imagine this is a corner position, right? So ignore where everyone is. But if the corner's coming in from here and they're whipping it into this area, all of the Arsenal players are congregating around sort of here, and all of our players are in our defensive sort of zonal marking line across like this. So as the ball gets played into this sort of area, all the Arsenal players who are here move sort of slowly across this area and just pick up loads of pockets of space. And because all of us are in our line, we're not looking to try and stop them, we're trying to stop the ball. They're crossing it just beyond them here, and they are getting consistent headers away. Thankfully, none of them are really working out yet, but it is not. It's dangerous, is all I'll say. It's not something that's filling me with confidence. Foul from Havertz. I didn't actually see it, but and for some reason it cuts to Aaron Ramsdale. I'm not really sure what just happened there. Oh, we're looking again at the goal. Oh my God, what an awful goal to concede. What an awful, awful goal to concede. I think the complaints is that Thomas Souček was pulling on Ramsdale's shirt. I think that's what the complaint from Ramsdale was. There was definitely some shirt pulling, by the way. There was 100% some shirt pulling. I thought we were going to get a replay of whatever just happened in the build-up with Havertz, but apparently not. So we'll just move on, shall we? Ben Rama trying to find a bit of space in behind, can't quite make it work. Good harrying, like that from Edison as well. Alvarez from Edson. Alvarez just nods it forward, and then as the ball sort of gets into Arsenal's possession, he starts pointing at different people again, using that as just an opportunity to mark in a nice way. I'm not bad, Rodrigo. Got a horrendous cough. My back is killing me, but apart from that, we're all good. How are you? Hope you're good, bro. Played out to the right. Let's play it in. Can't quite make it work. Arsenal. Nelson collects it. Sorts of Jorginho. Again, just playing it around. Hooked in. Havertz at the back post. Touch was poor over the top of Soufal, and he gets in the way of the Fabianski quick play, which, if anything, Fabianski's probably a little bit happy for. Fired in pass from Aged, and Aged fizzed that pass in towards I don't even know who it was, way too quickly, and it's going to be a throw into Arsenal. They take it quickly on the right-hand side. I suspect they will. I can't see a situation in which this second half if it carries on like this, you won't see. Maybe it depends. It depends which sort of weaknesses they see, but I can't see a situation in which you don't see at least some of them come on and get in there. That's nicely done by Nelson. Unchallenged. Unchallenged, but he does well to take it into the space. The shot gets blocked and it comes back out to Ben White, back to Reiss Nelson, who's now trying to find a way away from Thomas Souček. Zinchenko tries to fizz that one in. Nice first time pass from Paquetá into the path of Kudus, who just runs into trouble. Again, this is the sort of thing I'm saying. He's not going to get as much space as he does in the Eredivisie. He's not going to get as much time. He needs to just speed up ever so slightly. But that will come over time. That's something that comes over time. You can see when he has a little bit of time and space, especially when playing Europe. Good tackle. Glad. Sufal, really nice tackle there. You can see, especially when we're playing in Europe, he does get that time and space, and he's very effective in games against Premier League opposition where the game is just quicker. He's going to need to switch on that little bit more and be a little bit more cautious, because there are times where he's controlling the ball, he's taking very heavy touches, and he looks like he thinks he's going to have more time than he does. But that's something that comes over time. That's not something I'm stressed about now, because he has only just joined. It takes time to sort of get up to speed with these sort of things. And the more he plays, the more used to it will become. Arsenal playing it around about on the halfway line here. You've got Zinchenko joining the sort of inverted fullbacks with Ben White alongside Jorginho at the back, playing it around. Played in looking for... It's another really good opportunity for Arsenal. They're finding the space well. They are finding the space well. Ball got played over the top by... I don't know who it was. It's a really nice outside of the boot pass. And Zinchenko, it was Trossard who played it over the top to Zinchenko, who was arriving late. And it is those late arrivals that we're struggling with. And Zinchenko just hooks it back under a little bit of pressure from Mavropanos to Nketiah, who can't quite get anything on it. 7 shots from Arsenal, none from us. Still 1-0 West Ham, the only stat that matters. Let's go. Alvarez lays it short to Bowen, who's come short. Just a lack of forward momentum here, but that's fine. It's what happens when Ben Rama's on the ball, plays it back to Emerson, back to Ben Rama. Slowly decide to begin the horseshoe. Sufal plays it back now. We've just been forced slower and slower back to Gerd. Mavropanos alongside him. After everything he's given away, as the commentator just says, Sufal tries to find Kudus, can't again, just gets caught out, and Arsenal come forward. Thankfully, their pass is awful. That's a lovely touch from Ben Rama. And Bowen gets attacked from behind. And it feels like a yellow might be incoming. I don't think it is. The referee doesn't seem to be reaching for his pocket. But perhaps a final warning. It is. It's a final warning for Kiwior. I mean, that was robust, let's say. The ball gets played towards Bowen at a slightly higher, sort of chest to head height. And from behind, in comes Kiwior and just, woof. But yes, that's the word. Clattered. He was clattered. Yeah, last chance before yellows start coming out. It feels like, because that one was probably the closest I've seen so far. Lots of little fouls happening, but that one felt like it was on the verge of a yellow. Yeah. My concern is those late runs. So not Nelson, not Trossard, not even Nketiah. I'm looking at the runs of people arriving like Havertz and Zinchenko, those kinds of hyper players who aren't the ones that we're normally looking out for. They're finding a bit of space and joy with those players when they come late into the box. And Arsenal obviously have a lot of players good enough to find them, but we'll see how it ends up playing out. But yeah, Yeah, he left in summer on a free. Everyone loves him still. Unfortunately, it's just a case of it just wasn't was. When he went back home, no one can complain about it really. The horseshoe, the horseshoe. If I mispronounce, if I said something wrong, I meant the horseshoe, where we work our way up one side and it doesn't quite work, and so we slowly work our way up the other like that until that doesn't work, and then we slowly work our way. That the horseshoe. Big play forward from Ramsdale. Jarrod Bowen steps in from behind, foul from behind on Jorginho, captain tonight for Arsenal. Zinchenko finds Trossard out wide on the left-hand side. Kudos does really well to get in there. The former Brighton player gets dispossessed from the former Brighton target. Yeah, he struggled to get into the game. He's playing a little bit. He's finding space deeper, wide on the left. He's finding space there, and he's sort of getting involved in the build-up play, but he's not getting into the positions he would probably want to be in, which is good for us. To be honest, not many of their players getting into positions they would probably want to be in. Big boot forward from Fabianski. Ben White easily wins the header, which Emerson leaves to go out for a throw just ahead of the halfway line on our left-hand side. Dexter, thank you very much for the £2, my friends. Helps us out massively as a channel. A full-time fund. Hi, Charlie and everyone. 0-10. Good 1-0. Listen, what more do you need? What more do you need? Yeah, it's about, at the end of the day, it's about winning, right? And we're winning. What do we need? Possession? Nah, none of that. What do we need? Goals? Nah. What do we need? Shots? Nah. We've got what's important. And that, my friend, is the own goal. 1-0, big dubs. Let's go. Dexter, thank you very much for the full-time fund, my friend. It helps the channel out an enormous amount. An enormous amount, I can't stress. A minute and a half plus whatever they decide on stoppage time. Which probably won't be a huge amount. At least compared to what we usually get. Arsenal playing the ball around. Trying to find their way in. They've taken long enough to wear our defences in decent positions. Thomas Souček was covering Kai Havertz there. He was looking to make one of those runs that I've been mentioning. Because they've got so many of these people to make these sort of runs. Trossard again, finding the ball deep. Looking to try and play it inwards. Can't make it happen. Havertz is so big compared to Trossard. Gabriel plays it out wide to Havertz. Well done. Good play, Alvarez. Muscles in there. And now we can come away with it. You can see David Moyes screaming for the counter-attack. Jarrod Bowen, he just had no options there. He wins. Oh, he doesn't win a throw. And I tell you what, it's well dealt with by Arsenal. Just no options. You could see David Moyes screaming. I think it was maybe Ben Rama or someone else who was streaming forward as Bowen was just going and going, and Ben Rama was on the far side, but the space he was picking up wasn't really, you couldn't find, there's no way to find him there. He would have been more useful being a bit more closer to Bowen to give him that option. Bowen ends up running out of space, and Arsenal come away with the ball well. Zinchenko looking for the long drive, chipped through ball, looking for Eddie Nketiah. It's easily dealt with. 2 minutes of added time. 2 minutes of added time from the first half. West Ham still lead 1-0. Thank you. I'm not biased at all. Very kind of you to say. I'm not biased at all. No biases here. good, isn't it? We take that. Take that all day. Take that all day. It's just a boring water that I'm drinking at the moment, unfortunately. Just a boring water. Paquetá off the control. I mean, that's a definite foul from Havertz, but the control. But I can't reunite it because my back. But ball comes down. He just controls it here. Just leans back and just takes the ball under the control. He's just like, got that. And as he flicks it up, Havertz just comes down. Studs on the top of him. Down. Dinked forward from Mavropanos, looking for Jarrod Bowen. Cut out from Thomas Souček. The ball going forward from Arsenal. 30 seconds left. They've got a thrown on the left-hand side deep into their territory. They're passing it around at the back under pressure from Jarrod Bowen. Just can't quite get ahead of Aaron Ramsdale, who launches it long. Nketiah's not going to get there. Under 20 seconds left. Kudus does well to control it. Lays it short to Alvarez. There you go. Just a little bit of under pressure. Just dealing with it well, passing it around well. We take that. It looks like we're going to go into this half time. There we go. Half-time score, West Ham United 1, Arsenal 0. Of which we'll take a game in which there was a lot of concern. Richard, I'm basically going to ask that question now, but I hope you will. A game in which there was a lot of you can't. It's just a solid pun, isn't it? A lot of concerns going into it. Obviously, Arsenal are a very strong team. They've decided to make some significant sort of rotations, especially in their forward department, which is probably helping us somewhat, as those players don't seem to aren't really doing much, to be perfectly honest with you, and it's worked out in our favour. We're obviously playing as strong a team as we probably can at this stage. Like I say, you're looking at the likes of Antonio or Areola coming on, but apart from that, you're probably looking at our strongest 11, and it feels it defensively. A very strong defensive display, helped only by the fact that they scored an own goal. We had a corner whipped in from Jarrod Bowen, in swinger, and Ben White, under no pressure whatsoever, tries to head it away. And it just goes into his own net. It was awfully done. Maybe some question marks over Thomas Souček pulling out a Ramsdale's shirt. Probably something that could have been pulled up and should have been pulled up. However, as is always the case with the David Moyes side, when you take the lead, or when we take the lead, we look infinitely stronger for it, because it allows us to play into our game strongestly. You know, we can sit, we can defend, we can relax, and we can say to Arsenal, go on then, try and break us down. And they haven't really been able to. Like I say, certainly aided by the fact that they've rotated a lot. It would not surprise me if you can ignore the pun, the big guns coming on. They do have the likes of Martinelli and Saka and Odegaard on the bench, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see them at some point, because realistically we are in a situation where we've had 32% of the possession, they've had 68. We haven't had a single shot. They have had 8, and yet still we go into it 1-0 up. There is a situation in which Arsenal could come in, could put on some big names, and could make us potentially pay. The big concern for me is the late runs from the likes of Havertz and Zinchenko specifically have been finding space and joy. Arsenal have that front three have not really been super scary or super effective. You're looking at the likes of Nketiah and Nelson and Trossard, and they've not really done much. If anything, they've been involved in build-up, but that final third not really getting anywhere. The times they have got anywhere, Arsenal, is when you see Havertz making a late run that we can't pick up on, making a late run from Zinchenko that we can't pick up on, and because there are so many of them, we just don't have the amount of people ready to cover those sort of spaces. It becomes a difficult thing to cope with, and that's where my big concern is, especially if you bring on someone like, say, Odegaard, who can maybe pick out those things a little bit more, pull those strings a little bit more. Maybe he starts finding those late runs. You bring on players who are scarier in the more forward position. So you take off someone like Trossard and you bring on someone like Martinelli, for example. All of a sudden you have more to be concerned about. It would start to worry me. But at this stage, I can't act like I'm not We're not relatively comfortable because we are. Like I say, 0 shots from us is certainly not a great stat from us. But ultimately, it's because we went 1-0 up. I think if we didn't go 1-0 up, maybe you would see a situation in which we have to push it more. But at 1-0 against a team who aren't looking particularly effective, it is what it is. It is what it is. And listen, in the run of form we're in currently, a 1-0 win where it's an own goal can go a hell of a long way. A hell of a long way. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about it too much. But we will see, have to see how the second half plays out. And let's see what your opinions are as well. Because, we'll be here. Gonzo doesn't turn up at half time. So it's only Gio who does that. So it is just me at half time. So let's get involved with the chat. Let's see what you're all saying. No. No habla inglés. Can't remember how to say I don't speak. Sorry, not English. Speak English, yes. Espanol. I can't remember how to speak. No. No parlez-vous Spanish. That's French. Bad. Almost. This is almost our strongest side. No shots, but somehow winning. It's the vibe that we take. Ben White, man of the match so far. Again, we take. Not very good. I think it's enough. And in a bad run of form, sometimes enough is enough. You know what I mean? I don't think we're not in a situation where I'm going to pick and choose too much about that. Although, again, I am always someone who is no habla español. See, I was close. No habla. I was close. No habla español. Sometimes when you're in those sort of situations, you just have to take it. I'm someone who's always more concerned by performances than I am results, but in cup competitions specifically, result is all that matters, especially knockout competitions. Result is literally the only thing that matters more than performance. Performance-wise, I'm not going to act like it's been the greatest thing we've ever seen in our lives, because it hasn't. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to say we have been some sort of glowing example of brilliance. I wouldn't even go as far as to say we've been classic David Moyes. I think we've been playing relatively. I think we've been doing better defensively than we have done, but certainly there are those concerns still existing. But in cup competition, we're 1-0 up. Don't really care. You know, we roll with the punches. We take what we can take, especially in a bad run of form. What's the vibe on Kudos? Asks Darren. If anyone has any answers for this, by the way, feel free to let Darren know. I think he's doing okay. I think for me, he just needs to learn to be a bit quicker. He's taking quite a lot of heavy touches. And he, in a way which denotes that he thinks he's going to have a bit more time on the ball in the area, which isn't really happening for me. But outside of that, I feel like he's doing all right. I feel like he's doing well. He's continuing to grow, and that's something that's good for me. Yeah, that's something that you could say. I think in the last couple of performances, there's been a question mark over the players' application and whether they've put in the effort that is necessary to actually go and get the results. Not even necessarily that they've been good enough, but whether they've been putting in the work to be good enough. I think in this game, there's been no accusations of that specifically. No accusations of that. You can't. Martin says, I wouldn't change anything now. We just have to be more efficient on the counter-attack to score a second goal. I think that's also a good sign, is we have the joy and the space to do that, given the fact we are 1-0 up. It allows us the space to grow into that. And I think we probably will. I hope we will anyway, because it's probably another example today of Jared Bowen up front doesn't really work as a huge thing. But we've pressed relatively well as well. That's something that's good. We've pressed relatively well. And he's been a big part of that, so yeah. We've seen a lot from Mavropanos. Happy with Mavropanos, to be fair. Yeah, I think he's playing well. I think both the centre backs are playing well today. I think Mavropanos, I enjoyed his marauding run. I don't think that was his idea. He looks like he was trying to let go of the ball every single touch he took. He looked like he was looking up and being like, "Where are my options? Where are my options?" And there were just none. So he ran it the entire length of the pitch, which was fun. But I think he's doing well. I think both centre backs are doing relatively well today. Like I say, I think as a defence as a whole, we need to be, holy moly. Exeter just scored an absolute... Sorry, they're showing other goals from the League Cup, and Exeter scored an absolute screamer against Middlesbrough. Bloody hell. Their first goal. Anyway. But yeah, my God, the Middlesbrough equaliser was also a scream. But it's a game of screamers. Both centre backs are doing well. The late runs that we're not picking up on from Havertz and from Zinchenko, I think that's a defence as a whole issue as opposed to like the specific centre backs or anything else. That's something about structure we need to sort out. But yeah, I think both centre backs are doing relatively well today, and Mavropanos is definitely a big part of that. The third goal was great as well. Bro, the Exeter Middlesbrough game was just bangers. Mad. I think we've been a glowing example of brilliance. Yeah, why not? Screw it. Listen, we're having a crap old time at the moment. So why not just take the good things when we can find them? We've been unimpeachably brilliant. Maybe trying too hard? I don't know if I'd say that yet, but I could certainly see your argument, Simon, for saying that. I definitely could say that. I think he's doing well defensively. Yeah, I think he's doing well. I think Ben Rama is always my concern a little bit defensively. I think he's done okay at it. I think that one tackle, like when he broke forward and Reece Nelson got the better of him and brought the ball away, I was a bit like, okay. But then the one where he chased Reece Nelson all the way back, I'm enjoying that battle between the two of them. It's quite fun. I think both the wide players are doing far. I think we're doing okay. We're not doing great or anything. I just think we're doing okay. I think defensively we're doing well. I think as a unit we're doing okay. I think all of the team are doing okay. I don't think there's any particular individuals I would pull out as doing poorly. Even Jared Bowen, of who I would say has been ineffective, even if he's done well in the press. So there is even that. You can still say he's done well in the press. But yeah, I would say he's been ineffective. But even then, I wouldn't say he's been bad. I think the application is there. It's just a case of... well, he's playing in a position he simply cannot play. So those are the way it is. Yeah. He's chill with the loose balls across the front of goal. You're not wrong. We'll see. Like I say, we're sitting relatively pretty right now. Odegaard is the big one that would concern me, but we're sitting relatively pretty right now. We'll see what they cook up at halftime. I would doubt they would change formation, but if I was Arteta, I would be tempted to try and do it. But trying to emphasize those late runs would be the big thing. But we'll see how they come out in the second half. We know how we'll come out. We'll come out exactly the same as we did in the first. There's no doubt what we're gonna do. We're gonna come out and do the exact same thing we have been doing, and it's gonna be a big test, a big test, especially if they make some changes at halftime. That's my opinion. And I don't think he's playing bad. Equally, I didn't think Paqueta was playing bad. And you can see the glimpses of what there is, and it's just a case of being patient and working that and molding that into the team. You know, it's very rare you can just pick up a player from, say, the Eredivisie and just lob him into the Premier League and go bang, and he just works. It's very, very rare. And I'm at a stage where I'm just like, let's let him grow and develop into the game, and I'm sure he's gonna come up a beautiful thing. Tracking back by Benny, attack was beautiful. It was incredible. I don't actually know the attendance. I'd be interested to know though. I've got no idea. Benny was not doing himself any good at all. We had a good break and he can't make a pass. Yeah, like I say, attacking wise, I've not been super impressed by him, but I think he's been okay-ish. I think he's probably made a couple of mistakes. He's just Ben Rama. He's doing Ben Rama things. But other work rate has made up for it, in my opinion, at least. Gooners will bring on their big guns second half, so we need to be on it and prepare for one-way traffic. So we're going to need crap loads of luck to win this, says Ben. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think it's been one-way traffic for the most of the first half as well, but that's fine by me. Again, if they want to, the longer this goes, the more it's surviving that initial period because the longer it goes, the longer it goes, the longer we hold on, the more they're going to feel the need to go for us and go harder and go harder and go harder, and the more space and time that'll give us in behind. And then I did see Alex Timeless say at some point, I can't see the comment now, Alex, but was talking about at some point bringing on Antonio potentially. Imagine in the 70th minute, if we're still 1-0 up and Arsenal are just continuing to go at it and they're putting more pressure on us and they're really starting to commit people forward, and then all of a sudden we bring on the actual counter-attacking goodness of Mikel Antonio up front. It'd be a beautiful thing. If we're 1-0 up, I doubt that would happen, but at the same time, it'd be a beautiful thing. It'd be a beautiful thing. No one's there, unfortunately, Robert. Gio is at the game. Gio's not at the game, sorry. Gio is in Scotland, which is why he's doing videos from different locations and stuff, because he's not currently in his house. And so he's unable to give me the relief. And Gonzo just never does it. So I never talk to Gonzo about doing it. So it's just me today, stressing. 80% to 20%, 0 attempts on goal, totally rubbish. You say that, Real Simpsons, but we're winning. Like, don't get me wrong. I definitely don't disagree with you to a certain extent. I don't think we've played rubbish, but also 1-0. You know? Big dub. Big dub. Saludos a mi amigo Rodrigo. Which means, hello, my friend Rodrigo. That seems what we're saying. I could be saying something horrendous there. Saludos a mi amigo Rodrigo. I'm terrible at pronouncing that, apparently. The teams are coming out for the second half. Make sure to stick around if you wish to, because I'll be here live throughout the entirety of the second half. And then Gonzo will be live just a few moments after half time. After full time. There will be he will reappear in the live match review that'll be on this channel. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on future videos, and then of course like the video because it helps us out an unholy amount. But the second half is about to kick off. I don't think there's been any subs. I'm looking at the teams now. I can't see any subs, although if there is one, I'll let you know. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time to run to Ting. Second half kicks off of the way. Arsenal are the one who start with it. Paquetá does really well there. Really, really well to battle for the ball and win it. He's got Kudus alongside him, alongside Bowen. Oh, that's a beautiful return pass from Jarrod Bowen. He tries to flick it in. Almost an instantaneous second. That would have been unreal. Paquetá battles for it. A big bouncing ball in the centre of the park does well. Starts charging forward. He has Kudus there. Bowen makes a really nice, smart run. The reverse pass. We tried to do that in the first half and it was just overhit this time. It was perfect for Jarrod Bowen, who runs onto it. And Aaron Ramsdale comes out, makes himself big, manages to stop it, and it almost bounces in towards the far post. Kudus can't quite get there first. Ball gets played in from the corner. Header from Souček just bounces out. Good start. Good start. Good start. Very much so, Jeff. Very much so. I try. Yeah, I couldn't see any subs, and I don't think there's been any. There hasn't been anyone saying there's been any subs, so I'm assuming no subs at halftime. Arsenal on the ball, playing it around. Where's Rice? GP, good to see you. He's on the bench. He's on the bench. Arsenal playing it round the back. Jesus Christ, commentator just said Zinchenko is a 4-time winner of this competition. 4 times. With Man City, unnecessary. Well done there. Alvarez wins it back and then just keeps it calm under pressure. Thank you. Thank you. Please allow it. Thank you. So, my girlfriend's being unhinged. Didn't get time to have a drink, so I asked her to pass me this from the fridge, and she just did it in the most insane way possible. Anyway, could have pulled up for a foul there. Disagree strongly on it, but there we go. Oh, flipping hell. I haven't thought about Liam in a while. Yeah, I have met Liam. Bay2LG. He does. I don't know if he still does. I don't know. Liam, if you see this, I don't know if you still do, but I hope you're well, bro. He did the he did match day vlogs and stuff. We met at a game once, and I was subscribed to his channel, but I never see his videos pop up anymore, so I don't know if he still does them. Liam, if you see this, I hope you're well. And if you aren't doing the videos anymore, bring them back. Bring them back. See, look, I'm trying to be healthy. I need as much vitamins as I can possibly get right now. Just all of the vitamins is what's necessary for Charlie right now, you know what I mean? Like half a day, yeah. One day she probably will, but not yet. Well, it's up to that really, but big ball forward from again. That's nice control from Kudus. Hits it, Kudus! Oh, Kudus! With the left foot, yes! 2-0. And Mohamed Kudus with an absolute peach. Oh, a beautiful goal from Kudus. A huge ball forward from again. Big searching diag. Just pings it from the halfway line over everyone. Kudus at the far post. First touch is brilliant to take it under control. And then second touch slots it in. That is beautiful. First touch completely takes Zinchenko out of the game. Gabriel probably should have got closer to him. Instead, he decides to stay back, make himself big, and it's through Gabriel's legs into the bottom corner. That is beautiful. Mohamed Kudus, let's absolutely go. I don't know if he meant that touch. Now I look at the chop, but I'm going to say he did. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Incredibly, ladies and gentlemen, it's West Ham United 2. It's Arsenal 0. We feared what would happen. We feared what would happen at the beginning of this second half. We thought it might be Arsenal oncoming storm, maybe some big subs, and they haven't really done either of it. We've been, if arguably, a better thing. Is that our first shot? Or second? Maybe you can make the Souček header and the Souček header from the corner earlier, potentially. But that could be our first shot. Potentially our second, and we are 2-0 up. No stress. Not a single stress. Let's go. Let's go. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I'd be saying similar stuff. Although I like to think I'm usually very fair about these things. Ball played across the box from Arsenal. Goes out for a corner, love that. Well, I like to think I'm pretty level-headed about these things. But at the same time, yeah, it's the way it is. I did say that. In my head, I can hit dun 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 dun. Sorry, it's the proms. It's coming back to me. I think Declan Rice is coming on. They just cut him on the bench, and he seems to be putting on his shoes. 2-0, let's go. So good. Again, the touch The touch. Don't disagree with you. Don't disagree with you whatsoever. The touch, when you look at it from slow motion in the thing behind, I'm gonna say he potentially did not mean. This is the last time you're gonna hear me admit that. Probably the rest of the time, I'm gonna say it was absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful touch, beautiful fit. The finish though was brilliant. Oh, just good. It's just good. Nice ball down the line for Emerson, who's charging onto it. You got Jared Bowen, who's in it. Oh my God, Jared Bowen against Gabriel was. That's better again. Driven low across the box. That's how you get point. Almost died there. Paquetá, just 3 or 4 step overs. No one near him. Completely unnecessary, but vibes. But vibes. Nah, it was deliberate. He meant it. He meant it. He meant it. I'm not having any more chat about it. He meant it. And the crowd are hugely behind at the moment. Huge Common Yuan's chance. You love to hear it. It's nice when you win, isn't it? Or when you're winning, I should say. Touch wood. Played out wide for Arsenal. Nelson finds Ben White on the overlap. Pulled back straight to Thomas Souček. You love to see it. Who lays it looking for Paquetá. Just keeps it in. Really well done there. It was very close to going out. He just keeps it in. And then goes down. And then goes down unnecessarily. He does really well to keep it in and then comes away with the ball and then he just crumples. Crumples. Good to see, sir. Hope you're doing well. I know, crazy. Well, we paid a hell of a lot for him, is how he did it, but it's crazy that he plays for us. It's crazy. He crumbled. You know, do you remember those little, like, I don't know what they were ever called, maquettes or whatever? There was this little, like, wooden figures that you could buy. I had, like, one as a kid. And it has, like, a circle base on it. And then you'd push the circle base and then they would just, like, crumble down. And they would, like, they had, like, strings through them. So when you press it, it would pour and then they'd all crumble down. He did that. He crumbled down like a wooden figure. That's such a specific niche reference, horrendously explained. I'm going to back out of it, but I think if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, fair play, because it was a rough sentence to follow. It was a rough sentence to follow. Good interception from Mavropanos and does well to find Kudos. Loses out on the ball in a dangerous area, but it was nicely there. Yes. Right. At least someone knew what I was talking about. Because I felt like I was going a bit crazy there. Right, so we've got some subs coming on for Arsenal. I definitely had it was either it's some four-legged creature. It might be a horse I had. Rice is one of the ones who's coming on. I think I saw Tomiyasu as well. So there are boos going around the stadium. There's claps as well. There seems to be more boos. On for Jorginho come Declan Rice. It sounded like there were more boos that time than there were claps. Bit crap in my opinion, but what? There we go. But there were a lot of people standing and clapping as well. Zinchenko comes off and Tomiyasu comes on for Arsenal as well at the same time. A little bit. I don't know. It was a mixed reception. There was definitely a contingent of people booing. There was definitely a contingent of people clapping. The boos seemed slightly louder, but then they would if they were plentiful. Jared Bowen finding his way through. It's difficult to say what it was. It was definitely a bit of both, though. Paquetá could try and dink it through for couldn't quite find him. Susan with a £5. Susan, thank you very much. Very kind of you. I hope you're well. Helps the channel out a huge amount. So thank you very much. Get your name into the thing. Susan, who's been around on the watch longs for a long, long time. It feels like. Trying to think if I can remember a time on the watch longs before, Susan. Don't know. None come to my brain. Thank you, Susan, regardless. Very, very kind of you. Completely unnecessary, but it helps us out a huge amount. And I say that as from Gio and Gonzo's perspective as well. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe, is that what they were called? That would make sense. That would make sense. Little circle base, got whoop. You know? Yeah, Dean's been around a long time as well. Dean's been around an incredibly long time as well. Father, what I would say is this, right? What I would say is this. In general, enjoy the good times because they never last. Do you know what I mean? So, you know. Good work from Emerson there. Battling with Nelson, diving in, stopping him going forward. Kudus comes away with the ball. Does nice there against Tomiyasu. Looking to play the ball forward here onto the outside for Sufal. Whipped in towards the back post. Nodded away from Ben White. Oh, it's 3. Jarrod Bowen scored a slapper from range. Jarrod Bowen from range. The ball gets played across from Sofal towards Ben Rama at the back post. Can't quite win his header. Bounces out towards Jarrod Bowen on the edge of the box, who just absolutely slaps it. And it definitely takes a huge touch off someone. But somewhat unbelievably, ladies and gentlemen, it's West Ham United 3, Arsenal 0. Ben White headers the ball away to Bowen. It takes a deflection off. I can't see who, but it takes a deflection of someone which maybe beats Ramsdale, because Ramsdale does get a huge touch on it. Bowen hits it. I still can't tell from the replay who it hits, but yeah, I think it just completely wrong foots Ramsdale. He's there, and it feels like it's initially coming here. It ends up going higher because of the deflection, and Ramsdale paws at it. It deflects off his hand and goes into the net. West Ham United 3, Arsenal 0. And as a great man once said, lovely stuff. Lovely, lovely stuff. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. I'm gonna struggle. Flipping heck. Well then. First half we didn't have a single shot. We're 3-0 up. Vibes, you know? As I was just saying, enjoy the good times. You know? Why not? Spend the good times complaining. You're missing out on the good times. Enjoy them while they're here. 3-0. Cup specialists. Yes. Yes. Rice gives the ball away. West Ham come forward again with Emerson. I like Emerson. Change the score. Thank you very much, Geordie. Everyone else saying it. Thank you very much. I'm an idiot. I was just, you know, taken aback. Let's make that excuse. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Kudus again, some heavy touches, but he makes the most of it. He makes it work. Good running there from Jarrod Bowen. He's holding his face a little bit. Don't know why. Maybe got poked in the eye or something. He's not remember his hand. I'm not sure. Bowen has been affected by something. Maybe there was something on his hand. I'm not sure. Just seems to reach down on the floor and wipe it. Who knows? We're 3-0 up. How's that happen then? How's that happen? Who needs a striker? Do you remember we beat Tottenham? What was it, 3-0 without striker and Sam Allardyce? Mo Diarmi, the most advanced player. Ravel Morrison gets a goal. Who needs strikers against teams from North London? Oh, Jarrod Bowen's got a lot of blood on his face. Referee called for the physios to come on because Jarrod Bowen has something on his face. He's got blood all over it. I don't know what happened. Again, he seemed to be pressing one of the Arsenal players from behind, and the ball carried on. There was no foul or anything, but he just seems to be drawing blood. Anyway, Saka's coming on. I think I saw Martinelli getting ready as well. Twenty 21 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Arsenal, sorry, not 21, 26 and a half minutes to go plus stoppage time. So probably at least half an hour, you'd imagine. Arsenal begin to bring on the big guns. Sklat, 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 sklat. No, I'm in blissful ignorance right now, Ben. I'm in blissful ignorance. Yeah, here are Martinelli and Saka. Bowen is still down, by the way. We're still playing with 10 men. Bowen's down on the edge of the pitch by where the subs are coming on. He's lying down on the floor. As I assume they're putting... I would assume it's some sort of stitches or something that they're doing to his face. Because he had a gash like here. He was bleeding down this side of his face. Arsenal going to take the corner first. Again, same routine. Dealt with, not comfortably from us, but dealt with at least. Trossard, who's not been very good today, gets completely outmuscled by Bowen. He's back on the pitch and he's running around. He's been patched up and he's back. And it's going to be a corner. Fabio Vieira looked to take it quickly, but I think they're going to make their subs. I imagine Trossard would be one of the ones coming off. Yeah, Trossard is one of the ones coming off. So, Nelson and Trossard are coming off for Saka and Martinelli. Arsenal bringing on a lot of their bigger guns. The only one really left to bring on bench is probably Odegaard. Whipped in. Near post doesn't quite work out. It's pile drove the way from Paquetá. Declan Rice, who collects the ball. We don't really have anyone in a position to try and counter-attack off that corner, as per with us. We haven't even made any subs yet. This has gone so well. This second half has gone perfectly for us. This is insane. This is actually insane. Overhit from Declan Rice, and it's going to be a goal kick to West Ham. Yeah, I'm really not about it. I'm really not about it. I can't. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I like a lot of those people, I really do. But I can imagine the vibe right now is negative, to say the least. I should know. I should know. Good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure to like the video, all that good stuff. I know what you mean. It's definitely got that vibe. It's definitely, yeah, why not? Oh my god, Declan Rice has taken off his Arsenal shirt. It says West Ham underneath. He's throwing up the hammers. Just whatever at this point, isn't it? Big ball over the top, goes aimless for Arsenal, and it's going to be a goal kick. Havertz trying to find his way into the box on the far side, doesn't quite make it work. Neither. Gonzo will be live at full time with his match review, so make sure to stick around for it if you want already. I'll be live throughout the rest of it. Gonzo will be here at full time with a live match review, link of which I'll put into chat so you don't miss any of it. So we can hopefully, if it stays like this, celebrate a great win. Arsenal passing it around at the back, trying to build up. We're doing really well here. This now feels a lot more classic David Moyes than it did. First half, I would say, look, we did well, but I thought we did okay as a group. I thought that we did all right, and it was working. It wasn't classic David Moyes, but it was David Moyes-esque, and it was giving us the opportunity to build on that. Now we are fully classic David Moyes territory. And to be honest, second half, they've basically done nothing. So with 20 minutes plus stoppage time to go, they're going to really have to step it up again because they've done basically nothing in the second half. Good work, Jarrod Bowen. Wins a free kick as well. Good work, Jarrod Bowen. Doing a very difficult task today. Not his style of football at all. He's doing really well. Oh, I haven't even checked that. Is it true? Is that where we're at? Bloody hell, we are. We're at 380. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like. It helps us out an ungodly amount. Big boot forward. Wait, was there a console BBC 4? That's what you were referring to earlier. I didn't see it. Ah, wait, is it new or is it like one of the proms or whatever? Either way, I'm gonna have to go back on iPlayer and watch it. I'm here for the music vibes at the moment. I'm here for the music vibes. I just tried to shake a little bit. My back told me not to do that. We're backing out. We're so far ahead at this point. Why not? I've been playing Batman Arkham City recently. I've gone back and been playing that recently for some reason. Don't know why. Just been feeling Batman. It happens. It's new. Ooh, okay, right. Well, someone's going to be going to iPlayer after this while I make the thumbnail for the review and getting heavily on it. Paul drove forward. Did he actually go up by that much? Oh, it did 411. Shout out to the band. Thank you very much, everyone. Massively appreciate it. Ouch. Ouch. Ooh, Dead Space remake. Yeah, it got put on Game Pass. My PC is somewhat screwed at the moment, so the idea of playing the Dead Space remake on there would be an issue. But I desperately want to play it. I love the original Dead Space. I haven't played the remake yet. Arsenal coming forward. Tomiyasu stabs it, but straight into the path of Sofao, who collects it nicely. Well, I say straight into the path. He had to work for it, but he gets there and then keeps going. Martinelli has the pace on him, and he wins a free kick off him. Thank you very much, Martinelli. We appreciate that. Sufal did really well there. Comes in, intercepts it, works hard, charges forward, keeps it Martinelli at bay for as long as he can. And when Martinelli does sprint alongside him, gets the foul, gets the free kick, beautifully done. Well, there's only one way to find out, Mulch. There's only one way to find out. Is that the new luck? Is that the new Bell replacement? Hitting 500 likes. Is that where we're at? I don't know. It's gonna be a free kick wide on the right hand side. So far runs over to it. Bowen dribbles it instead. He ends up trying to. I don't know if it was a whip in, but it ends up being closer to a shot more than anything. Little cheeky free. We've been working on routines. He put some whip on that. It didn't quite go in. We've been putting together some little routines, little 2-man routines. You love to see it. Right. See, I heard negative things, but I also heard some positive things from some places. I want to try it at some point. That got put on. Yeah, it's on Game Pass, and I think it's on Play. It might even be on PlayStation Plus as well. That got put on something recently, so I've been thinking about that as well. Although I'm probably going to end up playing through the Arkham games first. And I've never played Arkham Origins, so part of me is like, maybe I should give Arkham Origins a try just because I've never played it. I think so, Jay Moore. Like I was saying at 1-0 when we didn't have a shot and it wasn't going particularly well. Realistically, I think when you're in a bad rut of form, you can't pick and choose. I think we can all want to play it a specific way and want to play better and all these things, and that's totally fair. But when you're in a bad little run of form like we've been in, the idea of going, oh well, we won 1-0, but we didn't have a shot, we weren't very good. It's like, well, you take what you can get, and that's something to build off on. Now, not only have we done that, we built off it in the second half and played really well in this second half. Done really well, and this feels a lot more classic David Moyes in the second half than it did in the first. And so that's where you go. Okay, now we're getting there. Now there's really something. Now there's something to build off of here. And what are we doing a show in Germany? Bloody hell. MLJ is out here doing bits. Good to see you, bro. I hope you're well. You are not being tricked. It is 3-0. It is 3-0. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. That's going to happen at some point. The trigger is going to be fully pulled on that. I've got the Platinum Trophy in both the original and Miles Morales, so I'm very excited for the second one. At some point, I'm going to go absolutely hog wild about that. When's the draw? That's a great question. Does anyone know where the draw is? Bertie makes an excellent point I hadn't even begun to think about. When is the draw? It is 5. I'm one of these people who thinks Arkham Asylum is better, but that doesn't mean Arkham City is bad. Arkham City is very good. But Arkham Asylum is a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Pain is what I'm in. Lots of pain. Maybe that's the good luck charm. Maybe it's pain. Maybe I've just been too well the last couple of games. Maybe I just need to be iller more. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right. Ugh. Anyway, 14 minutes, 13 and a half minutes to go, plus stoppage time. We're putting together a really strong performance in this second half. Just really David Moyesy. They're not really creating much. We're stopping him from doing what he needs. It's going really strong in that sense. We're at 4:30. 4:30. I think I just heard the term Pablo Fornals. It hurts a lot, but thankfully the paracetamol I think is starting to kick in because it's dulling slightly, so we'll take that. But it's not comfortable, I'd say. Dean knows. It's 10:50 tonight, the draw. It's good info. Should probably do a watch long for him. Subscribe, because if it is tonight, I might end up doing a watch along for it. I don't know if it's certain yet, but I might end up doing a watch along for it. So subscribe. Yeah. Top illness. Arsenal passing the ball around. Again, they just can't find their way into the box at all. Bowen battling with Declan Rice, who does well to beat him there. I think he's done fine since he's come on. It's just a case of everyone else around him's just not been on it, you know? I think he specifically has done fine. There was a moment there, by the way, when Rice had the ball and Alvarez just went flying up to him. And part of... Look, I have no ill feelings towards Declan Rice at all. But I also have very strong feelings about unnecessary challenges. And my feelings are positive about them. So I was like, go on, have a go. Have a go. He didn't. Punted away. Bit of head tennis going on between the two sides now. No one really getting control of grasp of the ball at all. Bowen stabs it out wide, looking for Paquetá. Can't quite keep it in. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal on the right-hand side in a relatively advanced position. I say Paquetá, it was Emerson who was the one who was charging after them. Odegaard is going to be making his way onto the pitch for Eddie Nketiah. Be interested to see who goes up front then. I mean, because maybe it's Havertz. Maybe it's Havertz. I guess that would be the answer. Oh, GP, thank you very much. I can imagine. Again, I can imagine. I suspect like Fan Reactions FC or whatever, those channels will make a compilation of all the West Ham channels watch-alongs reactions to the goals and all the Arsenal fan channels reactions to the goals, and I'll be able to see them then. But thank you very much, GP. I can imagine it's you know. Emerson comes away with the ball, plays out wide to Kudus. Bowen's there. He's not quite making a run, so Kudus goes for it from range. Just wide. He wanted it slow, bro. He wanted it. He plapped it from range. It just ends up going wide. Takes it, drives it. It deflects off. It's going to be a corner. Good work, though. And James Ward-Prowse is going to come on. James Ward-Prowse, the first man to come on for West Ham. Saeed Benrahma coming off. Moyes dispersing a lot of instructions to James Ward-Prowse. On it comes Saeed Benrahma. Be interested to see what that means formationally. You'd imagine Paquetá maybe moves out to the left. Oh, James Ward-Prowse comes straight on to take a corner. Or him and Bowen go for the tag team corner. Ooh, let Bowen just have it. Interesting. Bowen to take the corner. Whipped in. Oof. Again was there. An Arsenal header just knocks it on, and for some reason, Paquetá decides to keep it in instead of letting it go out for another corner. Go ahead for it. Do you know what? Was it the right thing to do? Almost certainly no. But screw it. He went for a rainbow flick. I'm here for it. He tried it. Imagine if he pulled that off. He probably should have just let it gone out for a corner. But do you know what? Screw it. We're 3-0 up. Let's vibe. Attendance, for those asking previously, by the way, 62,154. I think the commentator just said 5.5k for Arsenal, so basically sold out. Declan Rice tries to flick it on, can't quite make it work. Straight into the hands of Fabianski. I know. I know it. Like I say, almost certainly the wrong decision, but screw it, screw it. Me and my bad back running about the pitch like like a late stage sort of R9 where he was just a bit big and just couldn't really move around much anymore. You know, like R9, but in like the charity matches. You know, leaf ball slow, immobile, immobile. I like it, James. I like it so far. There's a lot to like about it. I think they've dealt with everything they've needed to well today. Like I said, I don't think either of them have been incredible. Again, getting the assist for Kudos with a beautiful ball. I think we've seen both. I think we've seen great examples from both. I think both have given like a solid performances. Both been pretty good, and both have shown glimpses of their top tier qualities. Like Agaird's pass to Kudus for the goal for the assist, just bang, hits it, smashes it. It's a beautiful thing to see, right? Like none of our other centre backs can really do that. And then Mavropanos, that run where he just collects the ball and just to alleviate pressure, just runs the entire length of the pitch. Like that's the kind of stuff where they both bring that not necessarily other centre backs we have bring. So I really like their performance tonight. I think it's been solid, and I like the combo specifically. We're doing all right for likes, to be fair. Where are we at? Budge is saying 437? 437? Where are we at? Yeah, 446 now. 446 at the mo. There you go. Listen. That's not bad. I'm not going to complain. Let's see if we can. Let's just push it. You know, we're 3-0 up against Arsenal. We're vibing. There's over 500 people in here right now. Smack it. What if we got to 500? What if? What if, you know? We said if we got to 500, maybe we get to 4-0. I don't know. There's only one way to test it, but I'm not complaining. I think we've got a decent amount, to be honest. Dean is not wrong. Massively helps. Merci beaucoup. Si vous plaît. You know? Why I decided to pronounce it like that? Pronounce. It leaves a lot to be desired, but there we go. We move. Arsenal on the ball. Out to Ben White on the right hand side. Looks to try and cross it in again. There's just no one there. We've done a job on them. We've done the job. We've absolutely nailed it. We've absolutely nailed it so far. Situations like that where we're just forcing them out wide. They get it to the likes of Ben White. They just try to lob it into the box. Fine, you can carry on doing that, mate. It's not gonna stress us out. Big boot forward. Ben White collects. Starts trying to play the ball forward. Pings it down the line, looking for a nice run for Saka, who's got in behind. But the hook back is cleared away from Emerson. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal. See that? Situation like that? Not bad from them. Not bad from them. Here comes the corner from Arsenal. Big boot in. That routine sort of gone a miss a little bit in the second half. They had that nice routine that was sort of effective, but it's sort of dropped it away. Odegaard plays it out to Saka. They could try and play the ball in. Pings! Oh my god, Jesus Christ. And Fabianski's going to take as long as humanly possible to collect this one. Odegaard hits it. Well, there was a deflection off, I think, Alvarez. And Fabianski decides to take as long as humanly possible. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Where are we at? Oh, bloody hell, we're at 492. Okay, that jumped up significantly quickly. I looked away. I just saw someone coming on. I don't know who. I looked away and all of a sudden it's gone wild. Kudus gets the control up against Tomiyasu. Stabs it wide. Nice play. Not nice. Nice play. Between himself, Sufal, and Ward-Prowse, who's definitely offside there. Definitely offside. Seeing the word 500. 500. We 500. We done it. Oh my god, we actually did. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 506 currently. Thilo Kehrer coming on. But Mohamed Kudus. We'll see what the thing is there. But Kudus, an unreal goal. The best goal of the bunch. An absolute piece of individual brilliance. I think we're changing to a 3 at the back. An interesting decision, seeing as defensively we're dealing relatively well with this. But also, you want to take off Kudus, you're not going to bring on someone who you'd love a rest for, you know, because we don't necessarily need to. Good work, Mohamed Kudus. Good work. I like Ty. I like a lot of AFTV personally, to be fair. I've met one or two of them, but like I like a lot of AFTV personally. I have no ill will towards them whatsoever. I know, right? Who knows, man? Who knows? Who flipping knows? Played out wide to the left-hand side for Arsenal, trying to work their way into the box. Finds Declan Rice on the edge of the area. Surprised he didn't shoot. He would have done for us. Odegaard tried to flick it through. Blocked out. Again, we've just got so many people there. We're going to see how much stoppage time in a minute, but it'll be a fair little while, but it's not going to be too much. Oh, Jared Bowen does really well there. Good work, Jared. Good work. 520. Are we still going up? We still going up? We are still going up. The likes are just going up. They're just rocketing right now. Just absolutely spiked. Completely unearned. I'm here for it. I'm utterly here for it. Thank you, Christopher. Well, thankfully, 5 minutes of added time is the number I'm added. Thankfully, it seems like I don't have the ability to not come injured, Chris. So you know that works out. But thank you, massively appreciated for the super chat. Helps us out. G and Gonzo will be massively happy about that one, I can't lie. And listen, if I'm injuring myself making a cup of tea, then the chances of it happening again are large. So, you know. 4 and a bit minutes to go. 3-0 up. If we can get a 3-0 win here against Arsenal in a match where the vast majority of people, some of the confidence levels before the game were in negatives. That's how little we were expecting from this game as a fan base. We really were. For it to be 3-0 up, if we can keep this clean sheet as well, not that that matters, but if we keep it, flipping heck, what an achievement. Great second half performance. Proper classic David Moyes stuff. Whipped into the box, headed away from Aged. Thankfully, Lucas Paquetá's going to take as long as humanly possible. He has moved out to the left-hand side, by the way. Wally with a 10-pound. Thank you very much. Wally, please. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Paracetamol is a beautiful thing. This stream brought to you by Morrison's Paracetamol. Effective pain relief. And it is somewhat effective, although I am still in pain. But thank you, Wally. It's very, very kind of you, bro. None of you ever have to do this, by the way. Just to be clear, you never have to do that. It's just massively, massively appreciated. 10. Thank you, bro. Big up Morrison's, you know what I mean? Big up Morrison's. I've had these paracetamol for years. I rarely ever take paracetamol, so it's been here for a long time, and here it is, just doing bits right now. Arsenal playing it around, and again, just there's no incision. They just can't find the space in there at all. They're all dropping deep and trying to sort of catch us out, and it's just not really working for them. Declan Rice, spreading it around. The horseshoe is on the other foot, ladies and gentlemen, because they are fully horseshoeing right now. Fully horseshoeing right now. We're at 539 on the likes, by the way. We're at 539 on the likes. We've got no bells. Not a single bell in sight. We had conversations at the beginning of whether we should do a bell or an orange because of illness and all that sort of stuff. We didn't even need it. Went in 1-0 up without having a single shot. At this point, beautiful. 3-0. Vibes. Why not? Tell you, it's going to be a free kick in a very promising position for Arsenal. We have a minute and a half to go, about 90 seconds left of this game. Fabio Vieira has just been fouled there by Alvarez. Nothing too deep. No yellow card or anything, but certainly a very, very promising position for Arsenal to maybe get a goal. But with 90 minutes to go, or 90 seconds to go, I should say. Less than that now, 80 seconds to go. Should we see? We're at 5-4-5. We're at 5-4-5. What number is it going to get to? 550 feels doable in 80 seconds. Less now, 70 seconds. You know, 550 feels doable. Itchy. This is a great opportunity for Arsenal, by the way. Odegaard's taking his time over it. He's going to be the one to hit it. We got two walls going on. We got an Arsenal wall and Arsenal. We got the draft excluder at the flex. James Ward-Prowse hooks it clear. Hicks hooks it clear. Very quickly, I should say. Let's do man of the match very, very quickly. We've got about 30 seconds left. I should have done this minutes ago. I completely forgot. We haven't done it for a while because we've been losing. Lob your man of the match in, and whoever I see the most of in very quick succession wins the Mohammed's Chat Man of the Match award. But lob it in very, very, very quickly. I completely forgot about doing that. We've hit 550, by the way. Let's go. We hit 550. 555. Big. Let's go. Thank you very much, everyone. Completely unnecessary. Arsenal have finally managed to find their way through, and there is the goal. It is 3-1. They finally managed to do it right at the end of the game. Martin Odegaard, it's a really nice finish for him, to be fair. Hits it, it's 3-1. They haven't had any sort of incisiveness the entire second half, and then they find it right now, right at the end of stoppage time, and they get the goal. It's a great finish from Odegaard. Mavropanos just tries to make himself big, can't quite manage it, and he slots it right into that bottom corner. Really nicely done. And there is the final whistle. The final whistle, it ends. West Ham United 3. Arsenal 1. Right, let's go through these man of the matches quickly. Let's go through them very, very quickly. Right. Bowen. Charlie Nobel, thank you very much. It's me. Kudus, Ben White, Bowen. Me. Yeah. Kudus. Me again. Kudus. Rice, White, Kudus, Bowen, Kudus. I tell you what, I think it's going to be Kudus. It's very close. Ben White's making a late surge. But I think it's going to be Kudus. Congratulations on Mohamed Kudus on winning your Hammers Chat Man of the match. It's very close between him, Bowen, and surprisingly Ben White, and me incorrectly. But congratulations to Mohamed Kudus on winning your Hammers Chat Man of the match awards, and thank you all for joining. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell notification button because we do videos non-stop around here. Just an ungodly amount of videos. I would say an unnecessary amount of videos. There's always stuff going on, so make sure if you haven't already to subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and like the video. I mean, enough of you have done so tonight. We're at 559, so we've absolutely flown likes today. But like the video because it helps us out massively. Before I go, let's get the link to the review for you, so you don't even have to go anywhere. So just to make it as easy as humanly possible. Here is the review link. I'm going to start spamming into the chat now. Make sure to click on this, head on over to the review and see Gonzo chatting about what was ultimately a hilarious and unexpected win. Get on over there. And before I go, one last time, thank you very much to Dexter Fletcher, to Susan, to GP, to Christopher, and of course to Wally World. Thank you all. Massively, massively appreciated. It helps the channel out an ungodly amount. However, ladies and gentlemen, there is a review. Click on it. Hit that button. Jump on over there. Gonzo's going to be live any second now discussing a monumental win for us at absolutely hilarious. West Ham United 3, Arsenal 1. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate you all, and I will see you for at least the next, maybe for the. I'll look into the draw, but if not, for the game of the weekend. See you later on. Bye.